In certain extreme situations, the law is inadequate. In order to shame its inadequacy, it is necessary to act outside the law, to pursue natural justice. This is not vengeance. Revenge is not a valid motive, it's an emotional response. No, not vengeance. Punishment.
Tonight we have a chance to say, yeah, you're right. We're too extreme, we're too wild, we're too out of control, we're too full of our own shit. Or we have a chance to say, hey, fuck you, you're wrong. Fuck you, we're right. Because you have all made it to the dance. Because believe me, this is the dance. Start the show.
Everybody, good evening and welcome to the Steel Toe Nighttime Show. And boy, do we have a good one for you. I forgot today was a holiday. I had a bunch of the last of my stuff to send out. The mailbox is full of shit. And it's President's Day today. Oh, and it's -11 right now in Minnesota. Holy shit. Schools are all closed here in Minnesota. They're all closed already. They shut them down, or at least a lot of them. So it's my schedule's changing a little bit tomorrow with school being out. Nothing that affects any of the shows, but yeah, it's just too cold. This happens every winter in Minnesota. This is not a rare thing, like canceling school because it's too cold. It's just something that happens. Something we do probably once or twice a school year. You're going to get cancellations because, like, literally it gets so cold that it becomes, time-wise, it becomes a danger to your health to be standing out waiting for the bus. Like, wind chills that are so bad that if your skin, any exposed skin freezes in, like, a minute and a half. So it's physically... It is irresponsible to send the kids out to school. And I know that when I go to Rumble or YouTube, I go to the chat, it's going to be, yeah, pussies. And people my age and younger cannot sit here and pretend that we were like this tougher generation that just put up with that. No, we didn't. We got school canceled too because it was too cold. We don't get to pull that greatest generation stuff. When I was your age, we used to walk. No, when I was your age, the bus was always nice and warm. You know, the driver was probably a little tipsy. That's maybe changed a little. I don't know how much tighter they watch that. But it was a nice, warm bus. We were all bundled up neat, waiting for the bus to come out and pick us up. And if it was too cold, they didn't let us go to school. We did not live in Tough Guyville. But that's where we're at. It hasn't, by the way, hasn't climbed above zero all day today. And the next time it's going to get, oh my God. No shit, guys. What time would you get up for school? 6 or 7 a.m.? 6 or 7 a.m. tomorrow. 21 below. 22 below. 21 below at sunrise at 7:13. 21 below at 8 a.m. It is not going to get above zero tomorrow. And I don't think it did not get above zero today. The high today was 3 below. So it will be, see, 24 is now 48. We may have 72 hours with sub-zero temperatures consistently. Welcome to Minnesota. I do want to say a quick thank you before we get started tonight to Chev Maddock. He threw us 10 this afternoon, and he said to finish off the morning goal from Chev Maddock on YouTube, buddy. Thank you. We knocked out this morning's goal. We ended up $5. What do you say? Thank you, guys. We have a lot of stuff to give you tonight. Cheetos dropped by, came up with the month's worth of Stoney's gift certificates. And you know what I say? First come, first serve. $20, Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, etc. $20 gets $50 to Stonies, and have yourself a great time on Steel Toe. Our way of saying thank you for chipping into the show. You give us $20 to keep our little shit show on the air. We'll give you $50 to go drink. Sounds like a good deal to me. And we got like 10 or 12 of them. Go nuts. If 6 of them go tonight, we'll do the other 6 tomorrow night. This is an evening show exclusive. But let's do this. Let's kick that morning show's ass, huh? That morning crowd with their barely making it right there at the end, just right over the finish line. Let's have the evening show. Show them how it's done. I don't know if you can read from there. Maybe I can make the letters a little bigger. Jeremy bought the Steel Toe Top Toe Nations board this morning for $100. And from when our deal with Jeremy's up, $100 a month will be the sponsorship for the Top Toe Nations board, and you can call it whatever you want. Chad Buzamak is not happy with this. Chad Buzamak at first thought it was because he was worried about the Scott thing or whatever. That had nothing to do with it. Somebody asked me this morning how much for the board, and I said, fuck it, give me $100. I'll change it. And Jeremy gave us a hundo, and he wanted to rename it the WHMH 101.7 Top Toe Nations board. There you go. Maybe after Jeremy's deal is up, the person who's in first place at the end of the week should get to name the board for the week. That might be fun too. But either way, Jeremy's in first at $100. Yags, it was cool to see Yags again this morning. Yags in second with $50. Gray Duckling in third with 22. Matthew and about 5 other people tied for fourth place with $20. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Making speech free again says you should print out the names and tape them to the board so people can actually see their names. Huh. Not a bad idea. I don't hate it. I'm gonna keep that one in mind. Thank you, buddy. Johnny and Digger are live right now. Oh, how dare they? I'm going live tomorrow at 2:00 in the afternoon. No, I'm just kidding. Chevmatic becoming a member for 6 months says, did you get my PayPal 3-ish hours ago? Yes, we just acknowledged that you knocked out this morning's goal. Thank you very much, Chevmatic. Your $10 is very much welcome. So, $200 is the number today. We've got the Stonies. Every $20 is getting 50 to Stonies. There you go. Clopogram says, can you ask one of the kids to write on the board so it looks better? Is my handwriting bad? Is that not? You don't think that's good? You think that's illegible? Looks great to me. I mean, I'm looking at it. Looks, I can read it perfectly. You know what it is? It's the camera. It's the camera. Let me see. I can see. Look at that. I can see it right there on the screen. That looks like Jeremy to me. That looks like Yags to me. I move my microphone. That looks like Gray Duckling. That looks like Matthew. I have no problem reading that. Think it might be time for you guys to get your eyes checked. Oh, shit. Triple N says it looks like a retard wrote it. All right, guys, it's kind of mean. I'm fucking like a human being. I got feelings too, you know. I'm a person too, Pop, goddammit. All right, guys, 200's the number for tonight. Let's get to work on that. We have so much to tell you. We've got making speech free again says, you're right. It's our fault for having seen actual shows. I mean, you should just watch this one. Wouldn't that have made this whole thing easier? Thank you. Right? You know what? Thank you for seeing it my way. I appreciate it. Let's take a look at a couple of things here. Number one, we did put a new long sleeve shirt and a new T-shirt up on the store. And I swear to God, any second here, it's going to fucking cooperate with me. Why can't, Why can't, there it is right there. Just got to click on the right thing, you retard. We got a new shirt. There it is. It's another win for the toe comfort tee. There it is. Just another win for the toe. In all of your favorite sizes, from tiny little queen all the way up to tent tarp. You've got that. Keep an eye on that logo. That might be the last steel toe shirt with that logo on it. Mike from Affordable Signs sent us a new one, and I got to be honest, I kind of like it. And then, of course, the another win for the toe. People have been asking for these, so I put one on there. We'll see how it sells. If people respond, we'll put more varieties out there. It's the another win for the toe long sleeve shirt. So there it is, the classic long sleeve. Go check it out. It's at tinyurl.com/STMS merch. That's tinyurl.com/STMS merch. There's the link in the Rumble chat. And here's the link in the YouTube chat. Go check it out and get yourself one of those new items. All right. Making speech free again. Says, eager for you to have some merch without the fire and smoke. People can read it from further away. Well, you're in luck. Let's pull up what Mike sent us. I think it's ready. I believe, well, this isn't how it's going to look on a shirt. This is just how it looks on the app. It's going to look actually a lot different. Wow, this is a, you know what? This is not the way it's going to show up. Maybe I should just, you know what? Just wait for it. How's that? I don't want to show you a shit version of it. Yeah, because this is how it looks when you open it right away in the app. This is not how it looks when you put it on the shirt. There's the boot, the steel toe show, and then right there, another win for the toe. Much brighter the way Mike sent it in. I'm an absolute retard. Go check it out. Go pick out your favorites out there on the store. And tonight, anything purchased during the show will go towards tonight's goal. Let's fire that off. Let's do making speech free again. Says that's a way better logo. I'm glad you like it, buddy. Thank you. $20 gets you 50 to Stonies. Let's roll. If you're feeling generous, throw us a couple of bucks, and let's get that going. Bigot on Socialist Media says decent, better than I could design. All right, well, good. So check out the new stuff there on the store. Hey guys, guess what I found? I was going through my email and I was like, you know what? It's really been bugging me because radio ratings came out recently and a lot of stations did not have a good run. And I was like, I could take that one. I could take that one. I could take that. You know, I'm a radio guy at heart. So I went, you know what? I got to get back into my email. I got to see if those I got to have those ratings somewhere, right? So I looked in my email, and sure enough, the 1 year period from the fall of 2019 to these came out in the fall of 2020. So fall and spring, 19 and 20. Our second to the last book we ever got in radio. The last one came out after we were done. It came out 6 months after we were let go. That's how radio ratings work. And so I found them. We can go through them. This is a trip down memory lane for me. You know how I told you guys we had like a 20-some share, men 18 to 34, men 18 to 49? I was wrong. And I'm sorry. It turns out it was way fucking higher than that. Let's go through some of these numbers here. Let's take a look. The Nielsen ratings are this was the last one we were on the air for to see. Let's start with the adults 18 to 34, Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 a.m. That was our time slot. WHMH, the Steel Toe Morning Show, on top in first with a 3.2% rating, which is, as you'll see, almost 3 times higher than the next station and a 24.4 share. That means of all the radios on in the morning, adults 18 to 34 in St. Cloud, about a quarter of them were listening to Steel Toe. It's unheard of. It doesn't happen outside of like sporting events. Weekly time spent listening. The average listener listened for about an hour and 25 minutes per day. An hour and 25 minutes per show. The next one down, KCLD, they listened for an hour and a half a week. These are disgusting numbers. And now this is to kind of show you guys, this is why I want to get back there. This is what I left behind. Not cool. Not cool to leave numbers like this behind. Now let's check out adults 18 to 49. We're not even at men yet. Rockin' 101, there's Steel Toe right there. The average rating, twice KCLD's, adults 18 to 49. Average share, twice what the number 2 station was. And an hour a day. Average time spent listening for adults 18 to 49. Fucking sick. You know what the average was in St. Cloud? 15 to 20 minutes. 15 to 20 minutes a day. What did we do? An hour. Now let's go to adults 18 plus. That's all the way up to people about to croak. We're number 1 there too. This is getting disgusting. Nobody sweeps all the adult categories. We did. 1.6 and an 8.2. Hour a day there as well. Even the fucking old people loved me. Now let's go to these male numbers. Now these male numbers, this is where I lied. And I'm really, really sorry that I lied to you. I told you that we had 25 shares in the male demos. It turns out in the adult 18 to 34 demos, we had 25 shares. I was wrong. In the male demos, 18 to 34, Steel Toe had a 35.2 share. A 35.2. Men 18 to 34. Our average rating was about 5 times higher than the next one. Our average share was 5 times higher than KCLD, who was in second place. And men 18 to 34, the average listener listened for 7 hours and 15 minutes per week. It's fucking disgusting. That is. There's champion, there's undisputed champion, and then there's whatever the fuck this is. Jesus Christ. Then you take a look at men 18 to 49. Not too shabby there either. 4.3 into a 20.7 share. And again, an hour and 15 minutes a day. They're listening on average. Almost 4 times what the next one on the list was ratings-wise. I mean, it just got gross. It just got disgusting. Yeah, about 300,000 people in the market. It was, oh boy. And you know what the sick part of it is? Here's the real sick part of it. If I went back tomorrow, I could do it all over again. I could do the same thing if I went back tomorrow. And hopefully very soon, we'll have some updates for you on that. As Packer, thank you very much for renewing your memberships. Very nice of you. MN Vikings with 199 says, can you give any details on Steel Toe future? Yes. Not right now. But yes. Funeral director with $2 says this shit was from 10 years ago. Well, no, when did we go? 4 years. This is about 4 years ago. These numbers were. Talk about the future. I don't want to talk about the future. I don't want to jinx it. I really wanted to see what MSO's thoughts on this were. He says, fake, AI generated. Making speech free again says everyone was home and locked down then. Says a lot that they chose you. Vadam says most of Minnesota is white. The big cities only have different skin colors. We got some diversity over here. Bigot on socialist media says you could challenge yourself to do better than that. Oh, believe me. Believe me. I can top that. I can top that. And then I take a look at the Rumble chat, and it looks like the whole thing has just devolved into a conversation about race and how many black people went to school with. Nice. It's nice to see that the chat typically tends to stay on the same path. $200 away from today's goals, kids. Go ahead and throw in a few bucks. Again, Stonies is all loaded up and ready to go, so $20 from you gets you $50 from Stonies. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Oh, someone want Rusty sent me a very funny text just now. I'll deal with that in a little bit, Rusty. Thank you, buddy. Yes, $20 gets you 50 to Stonies. Throw in. Let's have a nice run tonight. Let's get that goal carried out early, and let's do nothing but fuck around all day. I'm excited. We knocked out this morning, so the perfect week is still intact. Just send in your contributions, and it'll make Aaron a happy boy. You got something to say in the chat? Throw a few bucks behind it. We'll get to it in a very timely manner. I saw this before the show started tonight, and I had to share it with you. Just something lighthearted to start the show off with. They found an old clip in 71 or 74? 54 years ago. So it'd be 1971. Andy Reid, the Kansas City Chiefs head coach, he entered himself when he was 13 years old. He entered himself into a punt, pass, and kick competition. Now, I don't know if they still have these. They had them when I was a kid, too. Basically, the punt, pass, and kick competition would roll into your town or a town near you, and you'd go and you'd sign up, and, kids like 10, 11, 12, 13, they'd throw, they'd kick field goals, they'd punt, they'd keep your score, see how far you threw it, far you kicked it, and you could win medals and shit, Well, Andy Reid entered at 13 years old. And, you could probably assume that Andy Reid was a big kid, judging by how he looks now. But this looks like a goddamn SNL sketch, Dick. That is Andy Reid in 1971 at a punt, pass, and kick competition. And no, that is not adult Andy Reid standing next to a kid while he does some kind of funny bit for a contest. This is Andy Reid as a 13-year-old standing right next to another 13-year-old in the punt, pass, and kick. Here he is. December 13th, 1971. Look at the size of Andy Reid next to all these other kids. Did they test for steroids back in 71? They still probably don't test for steroids at these things. And he just guns it. Like, further than any 13-year-old kid would ever have a prayer of chucking it. It's so unfair. And what's amazing is he just kind of stayed that size for the next 50 some odd years. I just thought that was great. I just wanted to share that with you guys. Just look at it's too perfect that it's Andy Reid and he was that much bigger than everyone else. He's still that much bigger than everyone else. Funeral director with $2 says, "Do you think the IRS will pass the Doge audit splendidly?" Oh, yeah. Oh. Are you kidding? The IRS is clean as a whistle. The IRS will pass that, as Ricky and Trailer Park Boys says, the IRS will pass that audit with flying carpets. I promise. Speaking of flying, yikes. Did you see what happened to that Delta plane in Toronto today? Oh, it's just, there's too much of this shit going on. Planes crashing, planes clipping each other on the runway, mid-air collisions, crashes, shit. Like, it just, again, we're either covering it more or it's happening more. This one you can't blame our FAA. This one you can't blame on DEI or midgets or anything like that. This was in Toronto. It sounds like everybody lived. Everybody on board was accounted for. Nobody died. But a Delta plane crashed on the runway and flipped over on its roof. And people had to crawl out of the wreckage. This is, I think we have a little video of it. Yeah.
We're in Toronto. We just landed. Our plane crashed. It's upside down. Fire department's on site.
Was anyone... I'm such an asshole. I just realized I've been tilting my head this whole time. Please tell me one of you also did that so that I don't feel like as big of a dipshit as I clearly am right now. Because while this was playing, I was just, my head was just going, I can turn it over. I can flip the plane if I just use my head. If I turn it enough. It is trippy though. It still doesn't look right. Like I'm looking at it right now and it's just, I want to adjust I want to turn it.
Upside down.
Guys, quit walking on the damn ceiling. What's wrong with you? Were you born in a barn?
Everybody, most people appear to be okay. We're all getting off. Some smoke going on.
Canada looks even shittier than Minnesota right now. God, that looks desolate. What are we at right now? Toronto temperature. What do they do? Oh, they're at 16 above. Oh, spoiled tropical vacation having motherfuckers. They're going to be at 31 on Sunday. Minneapolis temperature. Oh, look at them at -5 while I'm sitting here at -6. Again, spoiled. Sunday, 41 in Minneapolis. It's about time. We deserve it. But yeah, it was a bad deal. Passengers had to crawl out of the plane. 80 people were on board from Minneapolis to Toronto Pearson. Wow, what a great vacation, huh? Coming from Minnesota where it's -6 to get to Toronto where it's a balmy 13. It slammed into the runway. And paramedics told the U.S. Sun of the 15 people treated for injuries, 2 were airlifted to trauma centers for critical but non-life-threatening injuries. 1 child was taken to a children's hospital after the crash. No one died in the incident. Smoke surrounded the jet in the aftermath of the terrifying scene. Emergency teams responded. All passengers and crew are accounted for. Is this, this is the DC. I was going to say, is this a video of the actual crash? It's a DC thing. The fire department was shown spraying fire retardant on the plane. Delta confirmed that 76 passengers and 4 crew members were on board the plane. The airport was closed shortly after the incident occurred. Oh, CNN got audio of the plane crash? It says they did. I don't see anything. I don't see anything about CNN having any audio of the crash. But either way, just amazing that everybody lived. The people who are the people in critical condition and the people who went to the hospital, you got to be pretty banged up. You're getting jostled around pretty bad in a situation like that. I don't know how a plane flips over like that. Lands on the runway. I don't know, catches some wind underneath and lifts and turns. I don't know. Let's see if we can get some better visuals here.
Fire department's on site. Upside down. Everybody.
Upside down.
Most people appear to be okay. We're all getting off. Some smoke going on.
That was a better version of that video. Yeah, I don't know how a plane flips over like that. Jeez. I get, you know what? Sliding around, cold, snowy, shit like that. That might happen too. That's a possibility. Either way, just a real shitty deal. And really too many of those plane things going on. Somebody texts in and says, a barrel roll. Perhaps a barrel roll. A barrel roll? a barrel roll. Well, kids, we are still $200 away from tonight. Why don't I do something interesting? Throw us a couple of bucks. Let's see if we can get this 200 hammered out. Of course, we did knock out this morning. It took till the very end, but we were able to do it. I appreciate it. All the links are in the chat or pinned to the top of the page. We're about a half hour in, and our goal hasn't moved. Not going to pretend that's good. And I do take 100% responsibility. But we have all of our Stonies gift cards. So if you're a fan, the people who won last month, they're all on their way. $20 gets you 50 to Stonies. Let's give away a bunch of Stonies. What do you say? Funeral director with $2 says you should try a stream from a helicopter or airplane. Nope. I don't stream from helicopters and airplanes. I stream from a studio. I'll stream from the deck once in a while. How's that? From like my phone. Helicopter or airplane. Now I'm a wacky stunt guy, I suppose. That's going to put us at 195. Thank you guys very much. That gets us down a little bit. Appreciate that. Throw in a couple of bucks and we'll get to you in that chat. Thank you very much. PayPal, Streamlabs, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. Let's see if we can make a dent this evening. Appreciate it. We shared some good news. We found our old ratings. We got some new stuff up on the store. Got to see a 13-year-old Andy Reid look like he was bullying every kid in the punt, pass, and kick. And the people in the plane crash all survived. That's wonderful. All right, let's get to this. I have an ultimate red flag video for you if you've ever seen one. Now, I've had these hypothetical conversations with partners before. No, I mean, most of us either doing this show or watching this show right now have never really been someone who needed to do a prenup. You know, that's something that's for fucking rich people. But I don't think a woman or I don't think a man should be looked at as evil or awful or selfish by a woman if he decides to ask for a prenup. Guys have to protect themselves and women can be trifling bitter hoes. Like, obviously, you love each other. You don't think you're going to break up. You don't think you're going to get a divorce. But if you do, they tend not to be pretty. Happy people typically don't get divorced. It's usually very miserable, very, people who are in a bad place end up getting divorced. So if you get one, if you end up getting a prenup, I think that's a good thing. But having the conversation, here's a good way to search for a red flag. If you bring up the conversation of the prenup and they balk, or if they try to do that manipulative thing where they go, oh, so you just don't love me. I mean, it just feels like you don't love me and you don't trust me if you want me to sign a prenup. Like, bitch, I see. Yeah. There you go. There it is. Now, if you ask for a prenup and a woman goes, absolutely, I love you and you love me and we're a happy family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too? I'll sign a prenup, sure. Then you got yourself a good one. You almost don't want to make that one sign a prenup, but while you got her there, I mean, get her John Hancock and call it good. Let's see. Let's all make a prediction on if this guy's going to have a good marriage. Before we do, Mussolini Diff with $5. And also Mussolini Diff now in fourth place with $21. Throws in a $5 and says 31 degrees in the Midwest is known as string bikini weather. To the rest of nation, that is known as please God no. Yeah, we're a different breed out here. All right, you guys throw in your 5s and your 20s and get some Stonies and all that stuff. We're 195 away from tonight. We'd appreciate it if you chip in. Let's see if this guy's going to have a decent relationship.
The question is, why do we really need one?
I've had a pretty large company even before I met you. So if we get married and then you decide to divorce me next year, then you leave with half of it. That's not fair.
I agree. 100% I agree with him. He built something before she got there. There's even this thing where, like, if she's along for the ride and you built something, that she's entitled to a piece of it. Like, I don't even technically agree with that they're entitled to half in that instance. I don't think that you're necessarily entitled to half his shit just because you sat around while he built it. So good for this guy for standing up. And, you know, a lot of guys, they'll bring up the possibility of the prenup, and then they'll back off it right away when they get a little resistance. I like that this guy's explaining himself like, look, I built a pretty decent company. I've got some money before I met you. I don't think it's fair that you can take half of it. Good for him.
But why are you already thinking about that?
Babe, it's something I have to think about. I don't know why Danny's so surprised. The prenup's obviously something that we need to have in place. I built a business long before she even came into the picture, you know, and I have to protect that.
See, like, if you're a woman and you're getting upset by this guy, or you're being like, why do you even have to think about that? To me, that means you've thought about it. What I'm thinking if I'm that guy is you've thought about, worst case scenario, it goes bad and I get paid off on the back end. So the minute you bring up prenup and she goes, why? Maybe then in that situation, I'd hold off on the marriage. I'd hold off on even getting married because that seems kind of shaky. Because it means that she's thought about that as a possibility before. Good for him for sticking up for himself.
Like, you want to get married? I'm, like, trying to work with you.
I don't want to be emotional. I'm just not sure if you're doing this because you don't trust me or, like, you're not sure about our future.
Well, I think you're overthinking it.
Yeah, I think he's like, no, I have a shitload of money and I want to make sure I'm protected in case something bad happens. Also, it shows me that you're marrying me because you love me. You know, if you stay with me and you're good to me and everything else, then it's all you get 100% of it. It's all yours. It's ours together. But until divorce laws change and people can't divorce R-word somebody, yeah, I'm going to want some names in writing saying that I get to keep my shit if you split. I think when you divorce someone, everyone should walk away with what they have. Now, once you throw kids into it, then we gotta figure out some rules. But the way we have it now, it's so ass backwards.
I don't know how to explain this to you. I feel like you're not understanding what I'm saying.
I am understanding. It's not my intentions to leave you. I hope that's not your intentions.
It's not. Like, I didn't even think about that. You're the one thinking about that.
Good. So at least one of us is. Right. Of course, you're not thinking about that because you're not the one with the money. He's got to think about it because he's got the cash. God. What do you mean? My broke ass isn't thinking about what if that happens. Of course not. Of course not. I like him. I think he's doing the right thing, and he's not bending because she's doing that woman thing where when they're not getting their way, they start crying. Instead of making an argument, instead of making points that might change my mind or making points that might be, reasonable, instead, you're just going to go and cry and hope that manipulation works and he just backs off. We've all seen that play before. Good for him for standing his ground.
It's just the reality of what makes sense. Like,
yeah, but it's like, this is not how I pictured, like, it was going to start.
Oh! Princess thought it was all just going to be sunshines and rainbows and she was just going to get her way. That is such an immature way to think. It's not how I thought it was going to go. So in other words, you thought it was going to go all your way, 100%, nothing that you would disagree with whatsoever. Dude, red flag. I'm not saying run, but put it on hold for a little bit. This is not the emotional maturity of someone who's ready to be partnered up. This is the emotional maturity of someone who maybe has a little more seasoning in life left to do.
There's no reason to cry.
Yes, there is. I'm trying to emotionally manipulate you to let me have my way. Next step, I'm going to make shit up about you. Sorry, that was my own.
I need like 1 second.
I mean, at this point, this guy should go, I mean, we don't even have to get married if you don't want to. That's fine with me. I think that is a conversation that reveals a lot. I think that's a conversation that speaks maybe a lot louder than her voice was at that time. Crispy Cracker renewing his membership for another month says, if you will, as it were. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. But we are not looking good. 195 away. Again, we got Stoney. The Stoney's not going. Usually Stoney's carries us one night a month. Stoney's not going today. Every $20 gets 50 to Stoney's. If you're just feeling generous and you want to throw Steel Toe a couple of bucks, we'd appreciate it. 195 away from tonight's goal. We'd love to keep this a perfect week and keep this asking shit to a minimum. Just keep me laughing. You want to say something in the chat? You want to make sure it gets read? Throw a few bucks behind it. I would appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let's see if we can keep things going. Speaking, the reason I brought that one up is to bring this one up. So that guy has a nice little company, pretty successful, probably makes well into the 6 figures every year, might even have $1 million or $2 million on him. Who knows how wealthy he is? That's nothing compared to this next story with no prenup. I don't know if you heard, but Kanye and that Bianca Sensory chick are getting divorced. Who saw it coming, right? It's so sad. I mean, to watch love that you thought was a sure thing and forever and, a flame that would burn eternal, to see it extinguished, and only a few weeks after he had her pussy out at an awards show. I mean, right there when he had her full tits and pussy on display at an awards show, like he was, walking a slave onto an auction stage. I mean, I would have thought that those two were going to be hanging out like that every year at the Grammys or whatever. And you're telling me that only a couple weeks later they're kaput? It's over? I don't believe it. Well, guess what? Old Kanye ain't got a prenup. If you think he hates Jews now, wait until this no prenup divorce with his $1 billion is over. Oh, boy. By the way, Kanye is back on Twitter today also. He is tweeting about Jews. But then again, I guess I repeat myself when I say that Kanye is on Twitter again. You can rest assured that if Kanye's on Twitter again, more than likely talking about Jews. No Pen 15 Fathead with $20 says, I'll take a Stonies. Well, I'll send you a Stonies. Thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate that. There's our first one of the month gone. No Pen 15 Fathead with $20 over on PayPal. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate that. Knock another 15 off that list. There we go. There's a little rally for us. Grand Poobah with $20 says, my gold-digging whore plans have been foiled. Grand Poobah, I think I have your info. If I don't, feel free to send it to me. We'll get your Stonies sent out to you. Thank you very much. All right, that's going to put us at 160 for tonight. Now we're making speech free again says now we're cooking. Indeed we are. Hey, a couple more of those, and we're walking in high cotton. What do you say? Throw a few more in. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats. Poobah, I know who you are. Never mind. I just sent you some Stonies last week. I mailed you some Stonies, so you should be good there. Chevmatics with $2 says, how much to get a steel toe sticker? I have a shitload of the old Twitch ones. If you want to send us $10, I'll send you a couple stickers, I suppose. I mean, if you send us $10, I'll throw a bunch of stickers to you. I'll put a handful in a mailer if you want to send $10. If you mean to put it on the Steel Toe store, I can do that at some point too. That can be next. That can be what we use the new logo for. That would be cool. They do have die-cut stickers on there, so we can do that also. Looks like everybody's feeling generous right now. 160 away from winning tonight. We're giving away Stonies. We got new shirts and long sleeves on the store. Keep getting after it, boys and girls. We appreciate it. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Rumble Rants, and Super Chats. Yeah, Kanye and Bianca both have had their representatives contact a divorce lawyer this week. And I guess that means, so I guess if they both contact a lawyer, that means no prenup. Wait, you still, like, if you have a prenup, you still need a lawyer to go through a divorce, don't you? Or do you just execute the prenup and then nobody needs lawyers? Well, you'd think men and women would like that. You'd think that they'd both like I guess they wouldn't like a prenup because if he's got a lot of money, then yeah, never mind. I'm an idiot. They'd still hate the prenup. I was going to say, to make it nice and easy, boom, here's a piece of paper. If we ever get divorced, this gets activated. Boom, done. It sounds pretty good. But I guess if you want hundreds of millions of dollars from your spouse, not so good. Chevmatic with $10 says stickers. Chevmatic, send me your info. I will send you a handful of stickers, bud. Thank you very much. Hey, guys, 150 away from tonight's goal, and we are moving in the right direction. Hulkamasha Baby says, you're the one with the divorce experience, not us, Aaron. Well, my last one was pretty easy. I mean, the other one was, clearly all fucked up. So, that was pretty easy to get through. The only thing that kind of interfered with that was some guy in the background asking for an NDA. And I saw today that he's still making shit up. What a fucking psycho, dude. I'm not kidding. Like, what a fucking lunatic. First of all, the gay thing that he made up. Now this other crazy thing that this drug-addled, nonsense-talking sack of shit, you're not going to get better if you're just focused on me all the time. You're not going to get better. I don't think you're aware of that, unfortunately. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ that Kanye and Bianca both talked to lawyers, although they said this was not the first time. All right, wait a minute, time out. Maybe something else is going on here. The reps contacted at least one lawyer earlier in the week, and this was not the first time. I wonder if this isn't a couple, and I could see this being the case. I wonder if these two aren't a couple who just like that drama. They get the fight going, you get all impassioned, you call lawyers, and then that kind of does it for you, and then you make up. I could see Kanye and his little Kim K clone that he got for himself. I could see them being that fucked up. She went to an awards show with her tits and pussy out, for God's sake. Who's to say that they're not putting us on? He's tweeting about Jews again. He was tweeting about Jews before he met her. So it's not like she didn't know that he was, not the coolest with the Jews. Another source with direct knowledge says one of Kanye's reps contacted another lawyer back in October when TMZ was reporting marital trouble. We're told the rep was hot, angry. Our source says the lawyer passed on repping Ye. Yeah, Kanye, that's another thing to think about. If you're talking to divorce lawyers, maybe not the time to start bashing Jews. If you're living in Hollywood and you need a good divorce lawyer, shitting all over Jews, not the best move. Keep your options open, buddy. That's all I'm saying. Jesus. Here, if I'm going through a divorce and I've got $500 million to my name, 607, whatever it is, if I've got that much money to my name and I don't have a prenup, I'm whispering nothing but I'm whispering sweet nothings into every Jew's ear that I see, just in case one of their family members might be a divorce lawyer. Jesus, man, what are you doing? Mussolini Diff with $2 says, yay, do you still love it? I don't know. There's a chance that these two are a couple of psychos. It's possible. They could just be, maybe this is the kind of thing they're into. They like fighting, and then they get the big fight out of the way, and then they make up, and they'll be doing this again in no time. Maybe it's, who knows? Maybe they've got a divorce kink. Maybe that's my problem. maybe that's the part I like a ton. What makes it even more intriguing is that Kanye actually lost money since he married Bianca. I don't know if that's her fault. I don't know if we can blame that on Bianca. A lot of that might be the whole net and Yoo-hoo thing and the, I am Hitler shit and all that stuff. I don't know if that's Bianca's fault. In California, assets and debts are split equally. So on the surface, she could actually owe money? Oh, please, God, yes. Oh my God, would that be fucking hilarious? If she marries Kanye and he's worth $1 billion when he marries him, or when she marries him, and then they get divorced and they're like, yeah, could you cough up a couple $100 million? We've taken on some debts since you've come aboard. That would be great. Now, let's go ahead and see what TMZ's got on this.
Kanye West and Bianca Censori and what appears to be the end of their marriage.
Boy, they just look great, don't they? Have you guys seen the pictures from the set of Beetlejuice 3? They're pretty good.
At least we know that they are inquiring about ending their marriage. Whether anyone is ready to actually pull the trigger on her divorce yet, we don't know.
But usually when two people each...
I know that her lawyer's going to be better than his. Somebody said a little bit ago, they were like, looks like he's getting a Smith or a Jones. Boo.
Each go to a divorce lawyer, it's a sign that they want to get divorced.
Yeah, it's not a good sign for the marriage. Things are rocky to say the least. But we know...
We have a clip from Bianca Censori. Look, motherfucker, I'm finding Jews.
We've gotten some additional details. So yesterday we put in the website that both of them had gone to see a lawyer. We have more detail. Both of them had their reps going to lawyers this week.
All right, in fairness, we don't know if they're divorce lawyers. This is Kanye we're talking about. Kanye could be going to a lawyer for numerous different reasons.
And that wasn't the first time. Back in October,
and
Kanye's rep went to another lawyer,
a different lawyer than from this week,
right? Was hot, was angry on the phone over the relationship.
You'll remember we actually had broken a story back in October that their marriage was on the rocks. This was when Kanye was actually in Tokyo. And for, I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks, we'd seen him out and about, but Bianca was not there. And
so, wait a minute. So, okay. First of all, stop talking about these two like they're a normal couple. So, he goes to Tokyo. She's nowhere to be seen with him. Nothing. No sign of her whatsoever. And then like a week later, she's like, oh, sure, Kanye, I'll wear this dress that shows off my tits and my pussy as we're walking down the red carpet at the Grammys. That's just, and now they're not cool. So before they weren't cool, then we were naked on the runway. Now we're not cool again. I'm leading towards, I think these two kind of in a weird way get off on this. Kind of like he gets off tweeting about Jews. Bigot on socialist media with an interesting oh, yeah, you know what? This is interesting. Is TMZ kind of just like taunting him? Are they kind of shitting on him and making shit up about him because it's Harvey Levin and Kanye's been bad-mouthing the Jews lately? That's something to think about. It's a possibility. Like I said, she's going to be the one who gets the better lawyer. 150 away from tonight's goal. Hey, guys, keep it going. I like that rally we were on a little bit ago. We're 150 away. We're almost to the top of the hour. Let's rally one more time before 8 o'clock, and I'll be feeling really good about where we're at. Hey, if you got $20 and you want 50 to Stonies, go for it. If you just want a Stonies gift certificate because Stonies has become part of Steel Toe lore, I can also email you one of these. If you're out of state and you're just like, hey, man, I want a Stonies because it's fucking Stonies. $20 gets you $50 to Stonies. Throw it at us. Streamlabs, PayPal, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. Throw us a couple bucks, and let's see if we can't knock out that 150 tonight. You help us. We help you. And also, we got some new items on the Steel Toe merch shop as well. Steel Toe Media over there. Steel Toe on Spring. We've got another win for the toe long sleeve and another win for the toe short sleeve. Go check it out. See if it's something you might think about buying. We appreciate it. I missed this one this weekend. Jay-Z's R-word case is done. It got thrown out. It got dismissed. Jay-Z's not on the hook for any of that R. Kelly shit anymore, it sounds like. And he and Beyonce are right as rain. They're a happy couple. They're feeling good. Why wouldn't you? I mean, anytime an R-word case against you gets dismissed. Now, I don't think this was a legal one. This was a lawsuit for Jay-Z, but dismissed is dismissed. Let's take a look.
Well, Jay-Z and Beyonce were out in Beverly Hills this weekend. All smiles.
With good reason.
With very good reason, because they got a big legal victory on Friday.
Can I quote Trump on this one? Huge!
It was huge.
Huge.
Absolutely.
That's a great Trump impression, Harvey. That was really... Gotta say, one of the best fucking Trump impressions I've ever seen. Good job. That's what you have to do if you're a TMZ employee. I mean, he's got all the money. You just got to go, yeah, it's really great, Harvey. It's no, really, you should do the Trump thing on the air today. It's really solid.
Absolutely huge. It really is, because there was a woman who had come forward claiming that she had been raped by Jay-Z and Diddy back in 2000 after the VMA at a VMA after party.
And none of it made any sense.
Didn't make sense.
The
Huge
people who were
holes.
supposedly there were out of the state. The place they were at wasn't right.
Wasn't the right
There
place.
were a lot of holes in there.
And
Swiss cheese.
she finally filed to dismiss that lawsuit, so she dropped it voluntarily.
With prejudice.
Cannot be refiled.
I wonder. I always wonder whenever that happens, it's not like she got money, because they would have said they settled it for an undisclosed sum. So I don't think it's necessarily that Jay-Z paid her off, or maybe I'm being naive. I don't know. I mean, it could be, and we talked about this before, that maybe some of these judges are leaning towards, hey, if you want to file this lawsuit, you have to put your name on it. We can't let you do this anonymously. It's not right. It's not fair to the person you're accusing. So you've got to put your name on this if you want to go forward with this lawsuit. And then once they get to that point, they go, ooh, I don't mind a quick settlement from Jay-Z or Diddy, but I don't know, having my name out there, that sounds a little iffy. But hey, dismissed is dismissed. I really didn't think that was going to go anywhere anyway. I don't think people like Jay-Z, I mean, without very serious, like Cosby-like corroboration or Cosby-like amount of accusations, they don't typically go anywhere. Did Jay-Z do it? I don't know. I don't know what him and Diddy got up to at those parties. I don't know if he was a big part of it, or, he was there. So there's a possibility, but I don't know. When we'll never know. Now, we'll never know. 150 away from today. Throw us a couple of bucks. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats. $20 gets 50 to Stonies. If you feel like helping us out tonight, please do. One or two more rallies, and I think we've got this thing. Just if you support what we're doing, if you like what we're doing, think of throwing in a few bucks. Also helps you out in the chat. We'll go find you in the chat. We'll read it. The money makes it important, for sure. All right. Look, we're about to head into NFL free agent time. We're about to head into NFL draft speculation time. And something came across my Twitter today that I just had to take a look at, and I had to show you. And I know this isn't realistic, but the Vikings need defensive line help. And there is a defensive lineman that has asked for a trade that you talk about missing pieces. You talk about a guy that could help out immensely. The Cleveland Browns' Myles Garrett has asked for a trade out of Cleveland. And one of the teams with the most cap space in the NFL, you're looking at them, the Minnesota Vikings. Boy, I mean, it would fill a need on that defensive line. It would be a good guy to have up front. It would help quite a bit. Now, some people say edge rusher. We don't need another edge rusher. We already got too many edge rushers. We've got Van Ginkel, we've got Grenard, and we got Dallas Turner, who we traded up to get. Like, we went way up to get Dallas Turner at number 15. We had 2 first-round picks this year, or last year, which basically gutted our draft picks this year. We have a 1, a 3, and 2 5s. That's it. We've got 4 picks so far this year. So there's nothing we can trade now in terms of draft picks to get Myles Garrett without just completely like L.A. Ramsing our future. And I think we're more than just a Myles Garrett away from winning a Super Bowl. But they did sit down with Justin Jefferson. They did ask him about it, and Justin did have this to say.
This is free agent?
No, he requested a trade.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So you can make your pitch right now.
Miles, you know where to go, brother. Hey, we need about 1-2 extra pieces, and you'll fill in that piece. We need you.
I mean, you give us Mekhi Becton, and you give us that center from Atlanta. What's his name? Dahlman or whatever. You give us those two, and you give us Myles Garrett. Throw in, for good measure, throw in DJ Reid from New York. I'm ready to go to the Super Bowl. Delco Lou with 199 over on YouTube says Myles Garrett would look good in Kelly Green. You guys don't need, you shut the fuck up over there. You keep quiet. We don't need you guys sniffing around. Aren't you guys like losing a bunch of your players to free agency this year? Like, isn't our boy Josh Sweat another win for the toe? Isn't he hitting free agency? Mekhi Becton, we want to steal him from you. So you guys aren't buyers. You guys are sellers. You don't have any money left. Mussolini Diff with $2 says, her name, I theorize, she lies a lot. Not bad. Not bad. Little under 150 away from today's goal. Throw in a few bucks. Let's do this. Let's have, for once, let's have it work out this way where every fan of the show throws in a little bit of money and Steel Toe knocks it out. I get it. We're great free entertainment, and we're very mediocre paid entertainment, but it makes me feel better, and it allows us to be entertainment, period. So while you're hanging out with us tonight, consider throwing a few bucks at us. We're 150 away, and every 20 gets 50 to Stonies tonight. We appreciate it. Throw us a few bucks. Let's see if we can't do some damage. All right, let's get into some of the news type stuff. See if something tickles your fancy and you feel like joining the auction here a little bit. We have the head of ICE, Tom Homan, and I like this guy. I listened to an interview between him and Tucker recently. And I mean, this guy, you talk about a true believer. This guy believes in the mission. He's not like a lifer politician. He's not like a guy who, talks a good game. This Tom Homan, I mean, he himself, he's not an administrator. He's been on the ground at these raids, like busting illegals, picking people up. And he does not suffer fools. He does not put up with bullshit. As a matter of fact, we've had some politicians, AOC included, who have really been flirting with obstruction of justice by informing people how they can avoid ICE raids, how they can avoid ICE agents. I mean, really hairy stuff they're getting into here. And Tom Homan finally decided to comment on it today. Here he is.
That up to DOJ. What I find disturbing is that any member of Congress wants to educate people how they evade law enforcement. You can claim you're educating those constitutional rights. Okay, you can keep that claim. What she in fact doing is telling people don't open your door, hide in your home, don't talk to ICE. We're talking.
Yeah. Now, in fairness to AOC, and I like Tom Homan, I really do. But in fairness to AOC, she's allowed to do that. And I don't want to live in a country where that's criminal or that's not allowed. I mean, the state and the police already have way more rights than they should have. I mean, the state and the police already have way more rights than anybody who might be in AOC's position, say. So we don't need to give them, just because we don't like someone politically. See, this is how you end up giving your rights away, is they pick a target that you're sympathetic to. You know, they go like, oh, yeah, why don't we go after AOC for telling people not to answer their door for ICE and not talk to ICE agents? Yeah, fuck her. That would be great if she got charged with something. It's like, no, you don't want that. We want AOC to be able to say, fuck ICE, don't answer your door, don't talk to these assholes, whatever. Because you want to have that right if, let's say, Democrats pass some kind of crazy fucking gun law. Don't answer your door for the ATF. Don't talk to those ATF agents. Tell them to go fuck themselves. I want you to be able to do that too. So I like Tom Homan, but I don't want Tom Homan any more powerful than he is, for the same reason that I don't want guys like Grady Judd to be any more powerful than they are, or Joe Arpaio to be any more powerful than he was when he was Maricopa County Sheriff. Grady Judd, Tom Homan, they're great in the roles they're in. They're awesome. They're perfect for it. I don't want them in a position where they can start throwing people in jail because they're not getting their way. That does, as Hulk Hogan would say, that doesn't work for me, brother.
Talking about people who are in the country illegally, committed a crime, they're a public safety threat, they've been convicted of serious crime, and they've been ordered removed by a federal judge. So it's like AOC and others don't want ICE to enforce the laws that they enacted.
Okay, and I agree with you. And if AOC were hiding a felon illegal with a court order to be deported in her home and stops you from getting them, then, yeah, haul her away, arrest her. She's breaking the law. She's harboring a fugitive. I get that. I understand that 100%. But that's not what she's doing. What she's doing so far is she's kind of sticking it to you guys a little bit, and I understand that sucks, but I want her to be able to have that right because I want other people to have that right when it comes to other issues.
A member of Congress, let us enforce the laws you enacted. That's what we're supposed to do.
You can't go after her. Do you think others should?
No, I think I've asked DOJ, where's that line of impediment, of interference? Now, if someone stands in your way, prevents you from arresting somebody, put your hands on you, that's impediment. But what line is telling people to hide from ICE, not open the door? Where do you...
That's a line I want protected. That is a civil liberties line that I want protected 100%. Because we already live in a system of guilty until proven innocent. So you want to throw, kangaroo, shock trooper, Gestapo on top of that? No, why? Because I don't agree with her on taxes? No, thank you. I want AOC to have the right to do that to ICE because I want other people to have the right to do that to the ATF.
Cross that line on impediment. So I've simply asked the Department of Justice, give us that line.
You have talked to them about this. That's what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Wow. We'll see where
that's a little bit bigger than or smaller than people are making it out to be. They're making it out to be that like Tom Homan is saying we should go get AOC. That's not what he's saying. But even so, I like guys like Tom Homan. I like them when they stay in their lane. When they're a bulldog to go after illegals who are supposed to be rounded up and supposed to be deported. I'm for that. That's right where Tom Homan belongs. He doesn't belong anywhere else. Anything more than that, he's the kind of guy, what I like about him is the same thing we need to check about him, which is I like that he's dogged and determined and has a one-track mind. When you start putting that towards anything other than illegal immigration, he makes me nervous. Aspacker with $4.99. Thank you very much, Aspacker, with $4.99 over on YouTube. I appreciate that. Hey, guys, 1:45 away from tonight. We've got less than an hour to go. I would really appreciate it If you would light up that Streamlabs, light up that PayPal, light up that Super Chats, this humble little show that runs itself on a shoestring budget, those goals are very important to us. When those hit zero, we got no issues. When those don't hit zero, we got issues. And we did end up knocking it out tonight, which thank you knocking it out this morning, I'm sorry. Thank you so much. I love doing this show. It's a blessing every time I get to talk into this microphone and have a good time with you guys. You'll notice I am in the chat a little less tonight. That is by design. I've got to make sure we hit those goals. I'm very sorry, but, you know, I got to make sure they get knocked out. And if you throw money at this show, we guarantee we'll read whatever it is you have to say. $20 gets you 50 to Stonies. We're offering that bribe tonight. If you feel like chipping in, I do appreciate it. Let's knock it out. 1:45, less than an hour to go. Let's make it a perfect Monday here on Steel Toe. All right, next, let's go to the other side of this country's politics. We go from the right, and then we go to the left. Not a very politics-heavy show tonight. We got a couple of stories coming up here in a little. We got these next two little clips, and then I think we're pretty light on the politics for this evening. And even the politics we do have, they're kind of silly. Like this one, you want to try, Trump derangement syndrome on full display. I mean, look, guys, a lot of us didn't like Joe Biden. We didn't think Joe Biden was a very good president. We didn't think that they should cancel President's Day because we didn't like him. I mean, this is a clip from MSNBC this morning. The show is called Way Too Early. And I have to say, I think I agree, because if these are the kind of takes that they're baking this early in the morning, I think we need to let these things simmer in the oven a little longer. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Way Too Early show on MSNBC. While you guys throw us $5, $10, and $20 and help us knock out this 145 and make it a successful Monday for the toe, I'd appreciate that. I want to go talk to you guys for a little while.
Here is presidential historian says President's Day is ridiculous. We should scrap it. What do you mean?
It is a little bit silly. I mean, we have had some real duds, so I'm not sure we really want to be celebrating all presidents. And the tradition actually comes from celebrating birthdays, which
right. Washington and Lincoln, I think both had birthdays in February, so we wrapped it up into President's Day. But what a weird thing. Like, oh, we've had some really shitty presidents, so maybe we shouldn't celebrate President's Day. I don't think that's how you really feel. I believe this is a Trump thing, because let me use that same logic. There's been, we don't cancel Mother's Day because of Andrea Yates. Because Susan Smith backed her children into a river and drowned them, we don't say, well, can't celebrate Mother's Day. There's been a lot of shitty mothers out there. Or, there's been a lot of bad fathers out there. I think we got to cancel Father's Day. Boy, they've been really lousy. I mean, a lot of relationships end in breakups. A lot of marriages end in divorce. Can't have this Valentine's Day thing, man. You can't celebrate it. That's horseshit. I would actually respect her. Maybe not as a presidential historian, but at least as a personality. I would respect her if she would just go on TV and say, this Trump thing is fucking with me. It's bothering me more than I thought it would. God, I really don't like this guy. I'd really like to see President's Day done away with. It's just, he's throwing a lot of fuck yous at me. He's throwing a lot of shit at us that we don't like politically. I want to take something away from him. And I know President's Day doesn't really do that, but it's all I got right now.
Is a celebration that we inherited from celebrating the king. And I'm just not sure that that's exactly...
Elvis? Is that how President's Day started? I had no idea. Oh, I didn't know that the king of rock and roll was the first person we celebrated. And then we decided to do President's Day. God damn, you learned something watching the Way Too Early show on MSNBC.
Exactly what we want. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that we necessarily want to celebrate the people. I think that we want to have a certain respect for the office. I totally get that. And some have done extraordinary things, but by celebrating all of them, I do think it causes us to think of the president as somehow other, when in reality, they are a citizen just like everyone else.
None of this is I'm sorry. But none of this is making any sense to me. You know when it makes sense to me? When I think of this in the guise of, I don't like Trump. Then it makes sense to me. Like, if she's going, I hate President's Day. President's Day fucking sucks. I don't think it should be celebrated. If you're going, well, it was about the king, and then it was about birthdays, and some of our presidents are shitty. I'm just sitting there going, yeah, but no, that doesn't make any sense why you're raising hay about it today. But then if you go, oh, I don't like Trump, so fuck President's Day. Okay. Some people may see that as unhinged. Some people may see that as a little weird, but at least I get it. Now I understand it. And boy, things would be a lot easier in this country. And I feel like we could talk to each other a lot easier if we weren't constantly trying to trick each other into our own positions or trick each other into agreeing with each other. If we just laid it out there and we went, you know what, honestly, like if every Democrat could go, I'm not really over this election yet. I'm not really ready to take responsibility. I just need to fucking hate Trump for a while. Like, one thing I like in a relationship is instead of someone like projecting their pissed offedness onto you and making you feel like shit, is when they just feel comfortable enough with you that they can be honest and they go, I'm in a really shitty mood right now and I'm just really feeling like bitchy. Just, I'm sorry. Nothing personal. It's just, I'm in a way right now. That is so helpful. That helps so much. It may not be a nice thing to say about yourself, but it helps a lot and it helps the people around you. You know, that's a very mature thing to do. Sitting there and making weird excuses as to why you're all of a sudden bringing up something like getting rid of President's Day, that doesn't make any sense. But when you go, fuck Trump, I hate him, it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Mayor Larry Vaughn with $1.99 says summer dollars in winter for the toe. Hashtag friendship. Thank you, Mayor Larry Vaughn. Amity means friendship. Come on, guys, let's go. I appreciate all the contributions. We're 140. We got a ways to go yet tonight, and we need those goals to get to 0. It's important for the program. And again, we're giving back tonight. Every $20 gets $50 to Stonies. The last round of Stonies just went out. Get it in. We'll get it to you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Throw in a few bucks for the toe. Let's knock out tonight's goal, and then we have nothing to worry about. Everything's perfect. You know the show's going to be good. You know the show's going to be perfect. The only thing I get depressed about is not hitting goals.
You mentioned this earlier in the show, the idea that Trump posted something just over the weekend
there
where
we
he
go.
quoted Napoleon Bonaparte-esque, saying, he who saves his country does not violate any law. It feels like...
I like this. You know what? I like, a little respect to Napoleon, a little respect to the little emperor, the little corporal. I like that. Napoleon's one of my favorite figures in history. The only problem is, as Roger Sterling once said on the TV show Mad Men, every time an old guy talks about Napoleon, you know he's going to die. That's not good. So let's take it easy on the Napoleon quotes.
Exactly the example of what you're saying we should push against.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, I think if we think of a president as someone to celebrate just because they exist, which is what the king was, and that's why they celebrated the king's birthday, then it does evolve into that argument that they can do no wrong.
I will respect this presidential historian a lot if we can find other clips of her on TV shows going, President's Day is stupid. If this is something she says every single week, every single year around this time, then I'm cool with it. All right, that's fine. But if this is something she's just busting out for Trump's second term, I don't know. Let's go to Jasper with $20. Says, guess I could have some Stonies. Well, thank you, buddy. That helps us a ton, and we hope you enjoy your time at Stonies, which is always a fun hang, especially on the weekends when they've got live music. There's not enough of that anymore. I get it. Times are tough for bars and whatnot, but, man, nothing better than a live band. 1:30 away from tonight. Let's go. Oh, sorry, that $20, by the way.
We want the gold, sucker. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
There we go. Thank you very much. You got something to say? Attach a couple of bucks to it. We'll get you all set up. 1:30 away from tonight's goal. Let's fucking go. Let's nail it. Let's do the rest of it. 130's looking good. 30's looking even better. This was fun. We didn't get to this on Friday's show. I thought we should do it tonight. I think we've all seen this by now, but this is fantastic. Is Hannity married to this one? Or did Hannity marry a different blonde chick from Fox News? What did old man Hannity marry a coworker? I just don't know which one.
This just out. It was a photo that was taken yesterday in the Oval Office. So zoomed out, it just looks like an ordinary photo, right? You see the president there with Modi, the Secretary of State, just a meeting. But when you zoom
What's Super Macho Man doing there? He's looking good these days.
into that door, what you see captured in that red circle is the mugshot of President Trump.
Dude, it's so cool that he has that in there because you could argue that mugshot, much like the assassination attempt and a few other items, is one of the things that caused Americans to feel sympathy for Donald Trump and caused them to maybe turn towards him because they were like, boy, this seems like a witch hunt. It really seems like they're they're raiding this guy's home, the whole thing, for stuff that other presidents have done. So that mugshot being in the Oval Office makes some sense. It is a big part of why he's president. And then watching people who don't like him lose their minds. Honestly, I think I'd be like 60-40 a Trump guy if it weren't for the people who don't like him. I don't think they realize how many people like me, they push, like violently push, to being a Trump person. Simply because they don't shut up about how much they hate him. They don't stop exaggerating what a terrible guy he is. And eventually you just go, you know what? Fuck it. I like him. I like him because you're annoying me, is basically how it works. And them having a problem, if the establishment has a problem with him putting a picture of his mugshot in the Oval Office, then you shouldn't have gone on all these witch hunts that ended with him having a mugshot, that ended up with him in the Oval Office so that he can hang it there. I love that. If I was Trump, I'd do the same thing. That mugshot was supposed to signify my downfall. That was supposed to be it. That was supposed to be the end of me. What did it do? It ended up being my rebirth politically and led him to this Nixon-like comeback. So it makes total sense to me why he would have it up there. And it doesn't make any sense to me why people would be mad that he has it up there. You did everything in your power to make this happen. Remember how those people who are now pissed that Trump's mugshot is up in the Oval Office, remember how happy those people were when that mugshot was taken? When that was released? Oh, they were dancing in the street. They were celebrating. They thought it was great. Now he wins and he sticks it back to them and they don't like it. Well, then don't fucking do it in the first place then.
Now, this is a rather interesting place. This is called Outer Oval. This is where pretty much every guest, with few exceptions.
It's like labia majora. It's not the inside, but it's in the neighborhood. That's that comparison has to be worth a few bucks, I'm sure of it.
Walks through, and to the left, you see the top of a grandfather mahogany clock, and then you walk into the Oval Office, meaning just about every guest, with few exceptions, some enter the Roosevelt Room, will walk past the Fulton County mugshot of President Donald J. Trump.
So the Fulton County mugshot, that's the Georgia one. That would be the one of him calling the governor, asking him about all of the, like, can you find me 16,000 votes or whatever it is? That one. Okay. So that's not, I had that wrong then. I thought it was the Mar-a-Lago one. Oh, no, he wasn't home when they did the Mar-a-Lago one. That's right. 1:30 away from tonight's goal. All of the links are in the chat. There they are. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. We are inching ever closer to knocking this thing out tonight. And, of course, everybody who throws us $20 is getting $50 to Stonies. Throw in. We appreciate it. Let's see. What do you say? Help us out. Throw in a few bucks. Another win for the toe. We've got ourselves a perfect Monday. You have no idea how happy I am that I was able to find those ratings today. I just went, I don't know why I didn't think of it. I just went into my email and I typed in ratings, and sure enough, there they were in like a sent folder or whatever. All this time. Could have grabbed them. I'm kind of dumb like that. But yes, throw in your generous contributions to our program, and we'll add another half hour of overtime at 9 o'clock and go till 9:30. And then our show won't go broke, because that goal that we set every day is the bare minimum we need from you to keep this thing alive. We don't ask you for a dime more than what we need on this show. I am I'm equal parts pissed off and happy for the guy in this next story. If you're a football fan, you remember the story of Dolphins offensive lineman Richie Incognito and second-round pick Jonathan Martin. I remember I was in Litchfield Radio when this happened, and we would talk about it on the show, and it always seemed weird to me. This story, it wasn't adding up. So the story goes, it was a big bullying story, and it actually changed a lot of things in sports and youth sports, this Richie Incognito bullying thing. So this Jonathan Martin was a second-year, second-round pick. He was an offensive tackle, and Richie Incognito was a veteran guard on the offensive line. And he would razz Jonathan Martin. He would harass him. He'd give him shit. He was a veteran giving the young kid shit. Well, this fucking pussy went to his mommy, and when he went home and talked to his mommy, who's a lawyer, by the way, and told his mommy that the other guys were being mean to him, she apparently went to the news. She went to ESPN and said, they're bullying my poor Johnny. They won't stop bullying my poor Johnny, especially this Richie Incognito. Then they start digging into Richie Incognito. What do they find out about him? There's some video of him calling Mike Pouncey the N-word. Mike Pouncey was a Hall of Famer now. Center for I think they played together on the Steelers, or it could have been the Dolphins. Either way, they were playing pool. They were at a bar. Richie Incognito's jumping up and down and saying, Mike Pouncey, and dropping the N-bomb. It, in and of itself, doesn't seem like a problem. Mike Pouncey seems to be enjoying himself. Richie, apparently their relationship, that's okay. But they put that out everywhere, and now Richie Incognito is an N-word guy. And then Jonathan Martin's blubbering and crying like a big fat fucking baby on ESPN, talking about what a meanie head Richie Incognito is. Well, guess what? Today, Adam Schefter reports that Jonathan Martin made the whole fucking thing up. There's got to be, this thing cost Richie Incognito money. There were teams that did not want to work with this guy anymore because they're like, well, he's got the stink of bully on him and everything else. And this also pussified football even further. And for what reason? For what ended up being a false flag. Here's the article. This is Adam Schefter today. After years of requests, Martin finally agreed to speak with ESPN. In a series of interviews starting in late 2023, he was determined to emphasize what he's doing now and to communicate that his plans for the future are how he should be judged. His job now might be harder than protecting a quarterback from 300-pound pass rushers. He edits himself in real time, texting updates and changes to previous comments. He sways from being assertive to being cautious. He describes himself as an alpha and wants to assure you he wasn't a fully formed person in his 20s. He worries over retaining agency of his story. This sounds like a fucking white girl who wants to say, oh, I lied, but doesn't want to say she lied, so she comes up with a shitload of buzzwords. This guy's going to say that he's an alpha? You're a bitch, dude. And you cost Richie Incognito money. You cost Richie Incognito jobs because you and your mommy weren't happy that he was having a rough time in the NFL. You play in the National fucking Football League. You are a second-round pick. You're making solid bank, and you're going to bitch that it's too hard. Go swing a hammer then. Now, I never believed for a second I was being bullied, Martin said now. But you told everyone that you were being bullied. You cried to your mommy that you were being bullied. And not only did you cry to your mommy and the rest of the world that you were being bullied, you singled out Richie Incognito. You played the voicemails that he left on your phone. You played them for the entire world. And now you're going back and saying, I never believed for a second I was being bullied? What a bitch. He wants the world to forget the only thing it remembers about him. He said, quote, it's a story that I've been trying to fix for 10 years. Unbelievable. Hey, I just want everything. I just want everybody to forget. I love how he talks like he's the victim here. I just want everybody to forget, the thing I'm known for, because, it's been really hard on me. Not, I'm sorry, Richie Incognito. Not, I'm sorry to all the people, who had their spot blown up because I cried and I couldn't handle it. And my mommy was a lawyer and she wanted to sue everybody. And not, I'm sorry to the Dolphins. None of that. Just, hey, why won't you guys let me move on? I hate that shit. Richie Incognito retweeted it today and wrote, well. Which seems kind of underwhelming. I mean, he deserves more than just well. I want to see if he... Oh, here we go. He writes, does this fit your narrative, Adam Schefter? When Martin left the team on October 28th, 2013, Incognito sends a series of tweets asking Martin to call him and asking if the tackle is all right. The next day, Incognito wrote, what's up, dude? Glad to hear you're okay. I'm here if you ever need to talk. I've been through enough shit myself to understand. I miss your stinky armpits. How you doing, buddy? Feeling better? I miss us. Martin replied, what's up, man? The world's gone crazy. LOL. I'm good. Congrats on the win. Incognito said, thanks, dude. It's unbelievable all the attention this is getting. All that's important to us is that you feel better and know we miss you, dude. So he comes out and he reaches out to this guy to make sure, because Martin left the team for mental reasons. He was fucked up. He wasn't handling the stress of being an NFL player very well. And Richie Incognito was writing to him and seeing if he was okay. And what did Jonathan Martin do? Said, oh, yeah, Richie Incognito's mean to me. He's part of the reason I had all this mental breakdown. What a fucking asshole. What a fucking dickhead this Jonathan Martin was. And now, all these years later, to then come out and go, hey, guys, that's not fair. I just want to move on from all this. Fucking apologize. Apologize to Richie Incognito. Again, apologize to the Dolphins. I don't know who their coach was in 2013, but the Dolphins were dog shit, so he probably wasn't long for the team anyway, but it couldn't have helped his job security. Was that the Spagnuolo era? God, if I get that right, I'm the biggest fucking dork. Dolphins coach in 2013. Joe Philbin. I don't remember Joe Philbin. But probably because they went 8-8 that season. That's probably why you don't remember Joe Philbin. But yeah, I mean, the way this was put out there, this is another case of a lie goes around the world 6 times before the truth has time to get its pants on. And that's what happened to old Richie Incognito. I don't know. How much did he play after 2013? Richie Incognito career. Pro Football Reference. That's my site. So we go 2013. 2014, did not play out of the NFL because of this stupid John Martin shit. And then Buffalo for 3 years, and he was a Pro Bowler all 3 years. Nice. And then 1 year with Oakland, and then in 2020, he even played for him when they moved to Las Vegas. All right, well, good. He got another 5 years in at least. He was a 1, 2, 3, 4-time Pro Bowler. And just and had to go through all that shit. He was the big bad bully of the NFL. And for what? Some little dickhead with a lawyer mommy who was lying and now just wants everyone to forget about it. Apologize. What's the CM Punk line? The apology needs to be as loud as the disrespect. Boy, that would be nice. Hey, guys. Thank you to Jasper with $10. He says, you ever hit a Monday goal? Well, we hit this morning. Chevmatic threw $10 at us, and we hit this morning. But god damn, we are, we're kind of, we're in it. Jasper writes, you ever hit a Monday goal? Fucking loser. New boot goofing. Thank you, buddy, for the $10. 125 away from tonight's goal. Hey, guys, even if you don't want Stonies, you want to throw us a couple bucks? We'd appreciate it. That's going to put Jasper at 30, by the way. So now Jasper is actually in the top 4. He is on the WHMH 101.7 top donations board. Thank you, Jeremy, for the $100 and renaming the board for us. I appreciate it. All right, guys, so 125 away. We're at the bottom of the hour. Hey, man, if you guys would be so kind, if you're enjoying tonight's show and we've made the evening go quick for you, if you want to get that number down even more, boy, I would feel so much more comfortable. The show would be so much smoother. I really appreciate it. And again, every $20 is getting 50 to Stonies tonight. So if you're feeling generous, boy, I would appreciate it. I think we've been on fire tonight. I hope you agree. And if you do, follow Jasper with those contributions. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. Even if you don't want Stonies, a little something out of the goodness of your heart sure would mean a lot to me. I love doing this. It's my absolute dream to be a broadcaster. I've loved every minute of doing it. Honestly, the only thing I don't like about it is having to ask you folks for money. But for the last 4 or 5 years, you've been so kind as to keep us afloat, and I appreciate it. So those goals, that's the bare minimum. That keeps us going. So I do appreciate you, and if you want to rally up, you know I always appreciate that too. Hey, man, they're talking about going into Fort Knox and seeing if the gold's in there. This is going to be a problem. Oh, boy. Make this like item number 7 that the Trump administration has talked about doing that might get somebody's head blown off. There have been conspiracy theories about Fort Knox, and I'm not very well versed in them. I only know a few of them. But some people I've talked to have a lot of conspiracy theories about Fort Knox. You know, that's supposed to be where all of our gold reserves are. That if we ever wanted to back our currency with precious metals again, we could go with gold because we have so much gold in Fort Knox. There's some people who believe that that gold is gone. That if you go into Fort Knox and you look for that gold that's supposed to be there, it won't be. Elon Musk, the head of Doge, signaled an interest today in auditing the Fort Knox United States Bullion Depository after Republican Senator, who else, Rand Paul from Kentucky, and Mike Lee from Utah, and Blaze Media co-founder Glenn Beck pressed the issue. According to the U.S. Mint, the fortified vault adjacent to the Fort Knox Army installation south of Louisville, Kentucky, presently holds 9.2 million pounds of gold, a figure that includes half of the U.S. Treasury's gold. The New York Post indicated that the value of the reserves on site are roughly $425 billion. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but if we were to back our currency by gold, would that then mean that only $425 billion would be in circulation? Am I wrong about that? But yeah, it would be nice to know if that money is in there. And what do we do if it isn't? What do we do if a shitload of gold is missing? Well, we go to Edward Norton's house. Italian job. It's worth a shot, right? We're 125 away. I got to pull some bullshit out of my ass, right? There have been long calls to undertake a comprehensive audit of Fort Knox, something that does not appear to have taken place in decades. Now, we're talking about auditing the Fed. We're talking about auditing the Pentagon. We're talking about auditing Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. I think all of those things are going to be a problem because when an organization gets used to no accountability, accountability feels like a boot on your throat. So if they go into Fort Knox and they're going, all right, 9.2 million pounds of gold, I don't think they're going to find it. Because I think everyone's been allowed to be so loosey-goosey with this shit, and it's all been run by bureaucrats who don't give a shit, that when someone goes in there with a fine-tooth comb and actually looks into shit, they're going to find some problems. Like the Pentagon, forget about it. The Pentagon's going to be a disaster when they go in there, if they're allowed in there. Social Security, I mean, look at what they found age-wise for the amount of cases we have in Social Security of people over the age of 110, 120. Some of them 30-something. I mean, there's going to be issues because these people that run these places have not been used to accountability. They've been used to the charade of accountability. The Government Accountability Office recommended after the last audit in 1974, roughly 20 years after 3 gold compartments were opened at the depository for an allegedly thorough audit, a committee of auditors from the U.S. General Accounting Office and the Treasury Department launched a review of the gold holdings September 24th, 1974. The GAO later recommended that the Treasury Security task the director of the Mint with performing routine audits of the gold. Audits apparently took place for years thereafter on a cyclical basis, at least up until the mid-'80s. Now, former Representative Ron Paul, Rand's daddy, noted during a 2011 congressional hearing, a year after introducing legislation that would have the fort audited, that because the government has for so long refused to provide substantive information on its gold holdings, it is not surprising that so much confusion abounds, both within and without the government. I wonder if they're going to let him in. I mean, they haven't done a proper public audit for 50 years. I wonder if they're going to let Elon in. So Elon asked, surely it's reviewed at least every year, to which Senator Rand Paul said, nope, let's do it. So it sounds like Elon is in for auditing Fort Knox, but like, I'm worried that we're at the point with some of this Doge stuff. I'm worried that the system has too much cancer and like it's kind of living on the tumors, and that if we actually fix these tumors, we're kind of fucked. Like we're at a spot now where we could go in, like almost like we don't want to know the answer. Like we don't want to know the truth about what's going on with Fort Knox. Because if we find out, we're going to have a way bigger problem than we thought. And we already have these problems that we didn't know about, that Doge is finding, that we're going to have to figure out. Now you go into Fort Knox and you go, fuck, the goddamn gold isn't there. Now what? Now what do you do? I don't know, man. I'll tell you this. Happy fucking birthday to Neil. Neil says, F it, it's my birthday. And throws us $125. Dude, thank you so much.
And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
That's unbelievable. Holy shit, dude. I mean, I don't even know. I could yell and scream, whoa, boy. Oh, my God. Holy shit. Oh, Neil, unbelievable. Like, that doesn't even do it. That doesn't even do it justice. 125 is fucking ridiculous. Neil, that is insane. Happy birthday. Thank you for spending it with me and everyone else and this show. Dude, I wish that it was everybody throwing in 5-10. That's what I wish it was every day. But like once that, you have no idea. Once that goal is knocked out, once that goal's out of here, it's just me back in that radio studio again doing a show. And that's my favorite place in the world to be. Like any day that we're under 300 at 7, under 200 at 8, under 100 at 9, and then knocked out in the 9 o'clock hour, I'm the fucking happiest guy in the world. Like I said, I'm so happy doing my show. I'm so happy hanging out with Johnny, hanging out with you guys every day. And the only thing that stops it from being the most perfect thing in the world, just that stupid goal. And so when that thing gets knocked out, holy shit, am I a happy guy. I appreciate it. Turd Burglar with a great point. Ask him if his wife will donate his birthday blowjob. No! I thought you meant will she donate a birthday blowjob to him for his birthday? Not, I see what you did. No, you're making me sound like a scoundrel, Turd Burglar. How dare you? Well, thank you guys very much. That is, that's the goal for tonight. That's another win for the toe. And now we've got like fucking 10 more of these Stonies things. I guess we can do these tomorrow night. Well, no, I mean, if you guys throw in $20, it'll go towards tomorrow night, and we'll still give you $50 to Stonies. But Jesus Christ, Neil, thank you very much for that 125. I mean, at the very least for your birthday, pick something out from the store. Let me know, and we'll send it out to you. Thank you, buddy. Also, hey, has anyone gotten their stuff from the store? I'm sure they have by now. I just want to make sure. Because, you know, it just seems like it's going too smoothly, if that makes sense. Like it's going a little too well. And I just want to make sure if there's any problems, people would let me know. Thank you guys very much for your contributions and your generosity today. It means the world to me. Thanks again. And if you want to get ahead for tomorrow night, shit, I ain't going to stop you. All right. Speaking of stopping me, I want someone to stop me here because my conspiracy bells are ringing. This doesn't make any sense to me. So you know how Eric Adams had his charges dropped? No Pen 15 Fathead says, I haven't gotten my mug. The one you've ordered or the one I sent to you for being placed on the leaderboard? Because if it's for the leaderboard thing, it's still within that 7 to 10 days. That's all right. I'm not worried about that. If it's one you ordered, that's different. Mussolini Dip with $5. I like this one. This is maybe one of my favorite comments today. By the way, that puts Mussolini Diff at $30. He's now, I think he's now in fourth place because it's going to go Neil with 125, Jeremy at 100, Yags at 50. And then, yes, I believe Mussolini Diff at 30 is in fourth place. There you go. He says the Fort Knox audit revealed a depressed Scrooge McDuck dipping his toes in a shallow kiddie pool. Oh, man. So old Scrooge couldn't even get his swim on with the coins and all that shit. That's too bad. So this Adams thing. Trump administration drops the federal charges against him. And now you've got 4 top deputies to Eric Adams now resigning. This is weird timing. All right, let me throw out my conspiracy theory to you, and you can tell me if I'm fucking insane or if I might be onto something here. I think these 4 top deputies that they're talking about were Biden stooges. And I think they were feeding information to the prosecutors and the investigators. And I think they were part of the team that was going to take down Eric Adams because he got out of line when it came to the immigration thing. Remember that? He was criticizing New York City on immigration, and he's supposed to be a good, loyal Democrat. But he's also like, look, man, I actually got this job so I could do a good job for the city of New York, and you guys are fucking me here, budget-wise, with all these illegals. Well, then they charged him with corruption, which you could charge every mayor of New York City with corruption. But the case against him was fucking weak. And then Trump gets in there, and for one of the first things he does, removes Eric Adams' charges, which was the right thing to do, because the only reason Eric Adams got charged with anything was because he broke with Democratic dogma. But now 4 top deputies are resigning. I don't understand this. The deputies should be happy. The deputies should be in there celebrating. There's no reason to step down unless you were on the inside working against Eric Adams, and maybe if they investigate you, we'll find some shit. And one thing the Trump administration has been very good at lately has been finding shit. So my theory is that Eric Adams has some dirty actors in his cabinet, and that those dirty actors are leaving now because they might get found out now that those charges have been dropped. Vadam with $5 says, hopefully the online store can find stamps. I hear stamps are hard to find. Is that a joke against somebody, or is that true? That stamps shouldn't be a problem. You just print those out. God, I'm a dumb motherfucker. Bigot on Socialist Media says, oh, it's not a tantrum. They're running scared. Okay. So I might be onto something there, because every time something like this happens, immediately I go, what's the conspiracy? What could be the conspiracy around this? Because so rarely has the actual story been true, especially lately, that I'm like, all right, what's the real? What's the headline behind the headline? So 4 of these top deputies submitted their resignations today in the latest sign of the New York City mayor's cratering support among rank-and-file workers and the city's elected officials. Now, this is CNN reporting this. This also makes me suspicious. Maria Torres Springer, first deputy mayor, Ann Williams Isom, deputy mayor for Health and Human Services, Mira Joshi, deputy mayor for Operations, and Chauncey Parker, deputy mayor for Public Safety. First of all, it sounds like we got way too many administrators in there taking up taxpayer money. All notified Adams on Monday that they would step down from their posts. I don't know. And by the way, what's first deputy mayor? Shouldn't there just be one deputy mayor? That's it. But these people just walking out after he gets good news. I don't know. I'm disappointed to see them go, but given the current challenges, I understand their decision and wish them nothing but success in the future. Or I didn't think about this part. Maybe Adams found out that these are dirty, rotten motherfuckers who stuck the knife in his back, and now that his charges have been dropped, he's cutting them loose. Because anytime you fire these people, you always, you have the resignation letter in the drawer, and you say, you could just resign, and then you could get your perks and your benefits. And then they just do the resignation. This could be Eric Adams cleaning out his closet, too, because these might all be people who stood there while he got fucked by the Biden administration. It is not yet clear when the resignations will take effect. Adams said the deputy mayors will remain in their roles for the time being to ensure a seamless transition. The resignations of the city's highest profile public servants mark a significant shift for the Adams administration, which has been struggling to reset after a Department of Justice memo last week ordered federal prosecutors in New York to dismiss corruption charges against the mayor. And CNN is trying to wash this as like anything but a great thing for Adams. The DOJ's order sparked a mass resignation of prosecutors in New York and Washington. They did something. All of these fucking people did something. You're seeing a lot of that now. A lot of these FBI agents are quitting. A lot of these prosecutors are quitting. Who's the guy who scrubbed his Twitter recently? Eric Stozik or whatever his name is. Who's that piece of shit who just scrubbed his Twitter? He was part of one of those Trump witch hunts. And I'm wondering what these fucking people knew and what they're up to and what we're going to find if we look into them. Don't let these people walk away. Investigate them anyway. Something's going on here. You got a bunch of prosecutors in New York and Washington, including the Trump-installed acting U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York, who resigned rather than carry out the order to dismiss the corruption case against Adams. The prosecutors decried the order to drop the charges, which cited in part Adams' role as mayor helping the Trump administration combat illegal immigration as a bargain amounting to a quid pro quo. No, Eric Adams was anti-illegal immigration before you guys put those bullshit charges on him. He would have helped Trump on illegal immigration regardless of what you did. You motherfuckers put charges on this poor asshole for speaking up against your organized bullshit. This immigration thing was 100% an attempt to get more Democratic voters into this country. The next stop was getting these people the right to vote. In fact, I think it was either New York or California who passed a law that said in local and state elections, you don't have to provide proof of legal citizenship in order to vote. So he would have helped Trump no matter what. And he was complaining about immigration before you charged him. That's why you charged him, was because he broke from the team on illegal immigration, because he was tired of watching his city go to shit. The 4 deputy mayors held a call with Adams on Sunday and agreed to hold off on a final decision. However, Joshi, Torres, Springer, and Williams Isom reached out to Adams Monday morning and said they had finalized their decisions to step down. They were going to find something on each and every one of these people. They were going to find something on all of them, and they are getting the fuck out. These rats are abandoning the ship really, really quick. I think that this is a sign that there's some... and, you know, look, I guess on one hand, like, I want to find out what the fuck these people were up to and just how corrupt it got. But I guess on the other hand, if you get rid of them one way or the other, what's the difference? Papa Shab says they are done with him. Cuomo is literally on the legal defense team for Israel. No matter what party affiliation, they decided who their man is. Oh, they're abandoning. Well, when does he have re-election? NYC mayor election. Oh, this year. Oh, okay. They're setting this guy up to fuck him hard. That's what they're doing. Oh, take a look at this. This is from this weekend. Oh, it's all starting to come together.
The 2025 New York City's mayor's race starting to take shape, but there's one big question yet to be answered.
That's right. Fox Eye's Morgan McKay joins us now in studio. And Morgan, everyone is wondering if former Governor Andrew Cuomo is going to jump into the race.
Yeah, Steve, Natasha, one analyst telling me today that the race pretty much feels frozen right now because they are waiting for whether or not former Governor Andrew Cuomo will jump in the race.
There you go. There you go. There's a chance that all of these people maybe got the word from the big fella, the big fingerer himself, Andrew Cuomo, that he's running for mayor, and they are all dipping out on Eric Adams so that big daddy old money Cuomo can jump in there. Starting to make sense.
Or what happens to Mayor Eric Adams' federal corruption case?
I'm proud to be here to endorse Zellner.
Congressman Dan Goldman endorsing State Senator Zellner Myrie, who is running for mayor in a crowded Democratic primary. But despite this boost, Myrie can't escape from one of the biggest unknowns in this race. Is he running against Mayor Eric Adams or former Governor Andrew Cuomo?
There is one mayor in office right now who is failing New Yorkers, and that is the person that I'm running against.
And this race is
failing New Yorkers how? Because Eric Adams is the only guy who's spoken out against your city rotting from the inside, and nobody's helping him.
It's basically frozen.
With a little more than 4 months until the primary, this is usually the time that candidates are fully ramping up their campaigns. However, instead, almost everyone is holding their breath to see if the former governor will toss his hat into the race.
You know, it's interesting. Remember when this guy had to go? Because he was Mr. Me Too. He was putting his finger in girls' butts at events when he was greeting them. Remember that? And now he's the guy. Now they want him in there. Now they're I mean, this is all, it's pro wrestling, dude. It's rigged. The fix is in. Because when they wanted Hochul in there and Cuomo had to go mo, then it's, oh, this butt fingering fucking pervert, this Matt Lauer creep, this piece of shit. They even got his brother canned from CNN for trying to help him out. But now all of a sudden, because Eric Adams thinks that illegal immigration is making New York an even bigger shithole and it's costing the city a fortune, oh, now all of a sudden Cuomo's okay. The things that are going on in cities like that, they are Soros owned and operated. There. And you know what really sucks about the Soros thing? Is we're finding out that this motherfucker wasn't even doing this manipulative shit with his own money. Now we're finding out that USAID was giving Soros money. And these charities and NGOs were giving Soros money. So this motherfucker was manipulating our culture, manipulating our leaders, manipulating our cities. And he wasn't even paying the fucking tab. Like, it's even worse than that. So, man, it's just, none of it's real. Like, none of it's all predetermined. They want Eric Adams out of there because he's the only one sitting there in a high elected office saying this is fucked up. They want someone in there who's going to just go along. Here's what Soros, here's what all these NGOs, here's what all these hedge funds want to do. Step aside. You'll be a rich man when you leave office, even wealthier than you are now, Mr. Cuomo, and just let us do our thing. Let us reshape your city. And they sell their fucking city down the river for a couple of shekels. Meanwhile, a police officer like Eric Adams, he doesn't get it. He's stupid. He doesn't understand. He thinks he's the mayor. He thinks he's been elected. You know, he thinks that he gets to run the city now. Well, he found out the minute he didn't even try to run the city. He just tried to tell the city that they were fucking up. And they're like, oh, that's cool. Hey, do you mind if we put you in prison for a few years? And it took a Republican getting elected to stop that from happening. Whole thing is crazy, man. The whole thing is nuts. And if I were Eric Adams, shit, man, I'd want to get out of there. I'd want to get out if I were Eric Adams. This can't be worth it. Because it's not like he's getting paid off. He's on the outside. How much does the mayor of New York make? Probably, what, 150, 200 grand a year? On the books. Mayor of NYC salary. Mayor is entitled to a salary of $258,000 a year. I mean, not bad, but for New York City, I mean, look, here in Minnesota, you're living like a king. But in New York City, that's okay. It's predetermined. They're going to have Cuomo do it, and Cuomo will let all those people just basically pick at the bones of New York City. Well, you guys had a good run. You really did. I think it all started when you guys put de Blasio in there. I think once you guys put de Blasio in and he got to do his stupid shit, he was a true believer, by the way. He was easy to manipulate because he wanted to do all that stupid shit. Once you guys stopped doing stop and frisk, it was over, Johnny. It was all over. Oh, by the way, speaking of it's over, Johnny. Johnny made an AI song and an AI music video that he wants to debut tomorrow on the show. I haven't looked at it. I'm not going to look at it. He says we should. All he told me was we shouldn't play it for free. So I think on tomorrow's show, what we ought to do is if we hit the goal, the instant we hit the goal tomorrow morning is we play Johnny's AI song and AI music video that he made. It's about the show. It's called something about the steel toe. Something about the toe in your mouth or something like that. In the arms of the toe. That's what it's called. It's an AI song and music video. He sent it to me and said, final version ready for air. I'm excited. So you guys knock it out tomorrow. We'll play Johnny's song. Johnny's like, you should listen to it before you play it on the show. You should tell me what you think. I don't want to do that. I don't like doing that. I don't like watching stuff before I play it on the show. I like to, Larry King was the person who got me on that shit. Like, Larry King was always like, I don't read the books that my guests have before I have them as guests on the show. I don't do any of that because I want to ask them about it. Like, I want to learn about it right there as if I'm the person watching on TV. So, no, I don't want to listen to the song. I don't want to watch the video or anything like that. I just want to see it and react to it at the same time you guys do. I think it should be good. Turd Burglar says, that would be considered show prep. Hell nah. I sit down here for an hour an afternoon and prep the show. Another half hour, cutting out clips, putting the audio versions on Patreon, the whole thing. I do my work. It's a labor of love. Ooh, you know what? You guys hit overtime today. You crushed the goal ahead of time. So you know what? I can let you in on a little something. I did something today that I honestly, I don't know if it goes anywhere. I don't know if it becomes anything. That's not what I'm saying, but I got in contact with Gary Hoppy from 101 today. And and honestly, guys, it wasn't even about doing radio. Honestly, what it was about was, and I know some of you, you laugh at this or whatever, but it's really important to me. I've been on a journey the last year, and I've really improved myself, and it feels good to be honest with yourself and to be able to say you were a bad guy in a bad place and a bad fit a year ago, and holy shit, have you learned a lot and matured and grown up. I'm a little embarrassed to say that I grew up and became a much better person and generally a good guy really late in life, but everybody matures differently. Like I took responsibility for the bad things I've done, changed it, let myself hit my own personal bottom and then dig out. And it feels really good. So it's kind of been about tying up loose ends. And I'd really like to sit down with Gary and at least apologize for my part in everything that happened. Because the guy I am now is a lot different than the guy I was 4 or 5 years ago when all that went down. And to be able to sit down and have a beer with him, because we made magic. We showed you those numbers earlier tonight. Those are numbers this state has never seen, let alone this city. And those shares, 34 shares, those are Stern numbers. Point, period, end of story. Nobody does those numbers, and we did. And I would like to sit down with him and apologize for my part of it. He doesn't have to apologize for any part in it. And I would like to cross that off the list, so to speak. I would like to reconnect with Gary, because he was a huge part of my career, my journey, if you want to call it that. And we wouldn't have been able to do this show if he hadn't been so hands-off and just kind of let us do it. So I was sitting around today, and I was getting a lot of stuff done, merch stuff, packaging stuff, all kinds of things, cleaning. And I was going through the emails. I was finding the ratings. And when I found the ratings, I'm like, you know what? I should send Gary an email, and I should at least shoot him the respect he deserves for his part in this, and maybe see if he wants to go grab a beer sometime and, see if down the road you want to, catch up and all that. I think that would be kind of important, Actual steel toe wearer says, apologize for coming on his computer, you goon. That was my first job. And I didn't come on the computer. Totally different. Totally different. So yeah, I really hope that goes somewhere. I hope Gary and I can sit down. I hope we can, maybe break bread and go over the good old days, as it were. Here, let's get to something a little less gay and a little more cheery. Did you know we've got twice the odds of being plowed into by an asteroid and the whole fucking world going to shit than we did yesterday? The likelihood of asteroid 2024 YR4 striking Earth in the next decade has increased to 2.1%. According to NASA astronomers. When the detection of the asteroid was announced last month, NASA predicted just a 1.3% possibility of hitting the planet. Dude, I don't know about you, but a potential global killer asteroid having a 2% chance of hitting the planet, fuck that. That's too much. Start nuking it, drill whatever the hell you need to do. How big is this thing? What kind of damage would it do? A 2% chance is way, way too much Oh, shit. Look at that thing. It's about 40 to 100 meters. Oh, you know what? That's only twice the wingspan of a Boeing 747. How bad can this thing be? It's a 3 out of 10 on the Torino Impact Hazard Scale. A 3 out of 10 means the rock may be capable of localized destruction, though most likely new telescopic observations will lead to reassignment as a non-threat. All right, so it'll fuck up whatever little village it hits or whatever, but it's not like a global killer. Whew. Okay. Whew. I'm a lot happier that don't start that shit with me, please. Like, don't start with, hey, this big fucking asteroid is coming here and it's going to completely obliterate us and fuck us up. And then tell me later, well, it's about twice the size of a Boeing. Whew. Yeah, lead with that next time. You know, this is one of those rare times where I'll actually listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson and what he has to say on something. I think Neil was saying that it doesn't take much to bump an asteroid off trajectory. What could we do if an asteroid was going to hit Earth? Here we go. Come on, Neil. Tell us, don't tell us like what we do if it hits us. I want to know what we can do to avoid it hitting us. The asteroid Apophis won't hit us. That's not what I want. Not if an asteroid hits Earth. How to stop an asteroid from hitting Earth. That's what I wanted. There we go. All right, I'll trust this fucking dork.
Today I'm going to take a crack at Avenues Online Save the World Challenge. I'll tell you a little bit more about them later. They're an awesome school that has an interesting application. In 2013, a small meteor around 18 meters in diameter grazed the Earth's atmosphere in rural Russia at a shallow angle. It was going about 69,000 kilometers an hour. To give you an idea how fast this is, this ping pong ball is only going 1,200 kilometers an hour. So the meteor was going about 60 times faster than this.
Fuck.
So when it hit the atmosphere, it exploded with an energy around 25 times stronger than the nuclear bomb dropped at Hiroshima. Luckily,
see, like that makes me shit my pants. That scares the fuck out of me. I don't know. I don't like when we start with that shit.
There were only injuries and no deaths from the shockwave. The only reason there were no deaths, though, is because of the shallow angle and how high up it exploded in the atmosphere. If it had hit the Earth straight on in a populated area, it could have been much worse. And this was only a tiny asteroid. There's no doubt there will be more asteroids that hit the Earth sometime.
Boy, this guy's a fucking cheery guy, isn't he? All right, how do we stop it?
How? Well, I'm sure you've seen or heard of the movie Armageddon. In this movie, the idea...
No, remind me. Which, by the way, I think Armageddon is the most realistic way to deal with this stuff. I think the only way, I mean, clearly what you do is you take a team of oil drillers, you land them on this rock that's traveling at an unfathomable rate of speed through space. You have this guy stand on these guys stand on this asteroid because I'm sure the gravity will be, bueno. And you just have them, you bring a space drill onto the asteroid, and you just start drilling into this asteroid, which is going to be fucking frozen stiff and made of all kinds of rock and metal and maybe shit we've never even seen before from all over the universe, all over the galaxy, whatever. You drill through all that shit, because we'll be able to, and then you drop a nuclear weapon into it, and then you leave, and then you detonate the nuke. I've yet to hear anyone come up with a better idea than that.
The idea is to travel to the asteroid and put a nuclear bomb in the asteroid and split it apart and change the trajectory enough so it doesn't hit the Earth. Now,
no, that's not what it was. That's not what they did. They dropped it on the fault line. They blew it up, and then the rock split in two. They blew it up and split it in two, so it missed on both sides. Asshole. Fucking Bruce Willis gives his life. You can't even get the story right.
This work? Well, maybe, but as you may have seen in the movie, it's a
No, it wouldn't work. Stop saying maybe. There's no... Come on. I'm ready to be done with this guy. Hey, could we slingshot around the moon, come up the ass end of an asteroid, which, by the way, is probably firing off all kinds of shit from its tail end? Do you think we could slingshot around the moon, come up the asshole of this asteroid, land on it, drill a hole, drop a nuke, and get out of there and blow it up? Fuck it. It's worth a try.
bit hard to land on an asteroid, drill into it, and set off a nuclear bomb. Do we have other options? Well, what about lasers? Remember, light doesn't have any mass, but it does have energy and momentum. So that means when light hits something, it actually does move it a little bit. So let's see if we can take my 1-watt laser here and see the force on the scale. Okay, here we go. It's at 0 right now, and still 0. So this is extremely hot. You can see we can instantly burn this glove here.
All right.
But still, all of this light does nothing to push the scale down more to register more weight. That's because even though the laser is extremely bright and can even burn things, the momentum of the photons just is so minuscule that it doesn't show up on the scale.
All right, so lasers aren't going to work. What the fuck is ablation? How about nukes? Why aren't you going with nukes, dork?
When we heat up an object, we can cause something called ablation. Ablation happens when you blast something with an extreme amount of heat, so it causes very hot gases and plasma to form and be ejected from the object. Now, I don't have a powerful enough laser to cause ablation here, but I have the...
Pussy, I bet you Neil deGrasse Tyson does. I bet you some crazy Russian asshole like Anton Venko has one.
Next best thing. This is my giant Fresnel lens. This will magnify the sunlight on this entire area down to a point, so I can instantly heat things up. Very hot. You can see how hot this is. Look what happens when I put this piece of wood in here. It instantly starts on fire.
Oh, nice.
So I can instantly burn anything that passes through the light, but what happens when I
have a great idea. Let's hold one of those mirrors up to an asteroid. I think our work here is done.
Stick a mini asteroid here, also known as a rock. I'm gonna put this light filter over the camera so it's a little bit less bright. We might be able to see it better.
All right, so this is if we did this to an asteroid.
You can see nothing happens at first, but after a while, material starts to be ejected from the surface of the rock.
What the fuck? The rock
This happens due to water that instantly boils and other gases.
A rock is coming.
The rock due to the expanding volume and shoot it off. So it creates a little jet of particles coming off the rock.
All right.
If this was even hotter, in addition to these little tiny rock particles, we would also get a plasma jet coming off of it. So you have essentially created a mini rocket on the side of the rock. Now this doesn't create a whole lot of thrust, but it's orders of magnitude more than the momentum of the light hitting it. So with laser ablation, you can actually change the direction of an asteroid in space.
Okay.
And knock it out of a particular orbital that's going to hit Earth. So this is just one of many ways that we could potentially deflect an asteroid.
So we're fine. We're good. That's all you had to say. Why did you took all that time? You scared the shit out of me. So we just got to point laser guns at it. Like little laser pointers. And we'll be fine. Or like a space version of a laser pointer. Like a big, giant, crazy Elon Musk, SpaceX laser pointer at the asteroid, and it'll fuck right off. If you smell... You see, because the rock was cooking. Here's the problem, though. If we have, like, if the asteroid starts coming to Earth and we got to put Elon on laser duty, what are we going to do about Doge? Just put it on hold? I thought we could nuke shit. I was always, like, when I was a little kid, it was always like, I thought we just blew up an asteroid, at least nuke the fuck out of it. You know? Papa Shop says, try setting off a nuke in space. You're going to get an EMP blast, a nuclear fallout, and a good light show. Not much else. Well, shit. Okay, so it looks like we got to heat it. We got to shoot a laser at it, and then it'll go off in all sorts of directions and get in another orbit. Send that shit to Pluto. Fuck, get it away from us. I wanted to watch this with you guys before we go tonight. There were a lot of people on Twitter calling this guy a retard, stupid asshole, whatever. Anyway, it's my dad. And no, it's this guy who paid 30 grand for the Super Bowl VIP experience. And I was watching this and I thought, honestly, if you have 30 grand to spend, like if you saved up and you had $30,000 and your team was in the Super Bowl and it was going to be the only time you were ever going to go to the Super Bowl. Average ticket is what, 5-7 grand? If you had the money, and let's say you had the money and it was a strain, like spending 30 grand is going to set you back and you're going to be like, fuck. You know, like you saved up and you're like, I could either go on a fucking balls out crazy vacation or I could go to the Super Bowl where my team's there this one time for 30 grand. Let's watch this guy's experience. Dude, halfway through, he had me going, man, if it was a once in a lifetime thing, this kind of looks worth it when you consider that getting in that building, no matter what, is going to cost you at least $5 grand. Let's take a look.
This is what the $30,000 box suite experience is like at the Super Bowl. And open bars that you can.
Okay, so first of all, 30 grand, it goes without saying, all of your food and drinks are comped. So you go to this pre-party before the doors even open. You eat, you drink, you have lunch, whatever. All right, you can probably, look, booze and gourmet food, you could probably get a few $100 worth of damage done there if you try really hard.
And eat overlooking their private Ludacris concert. And
Ludacris concert? What's that worth to you? A couple hundred more?
Even a secret speakeasy with local seafood and jazz bands all before the game even starts.
Okay, I hate to be a queer. I would love that. I love a good speakeasy. The jazz music would, not my favorite, but like seafood, chefs, speakeasy. You know how good of an old fashioned you could probably get at that joint? Come on. All right, so I'm not saying that so far the 30 grand is blowing your socks off, but we're not done yet. We're not even in the stadium.
Then you may
during that game. You know, eat one, 3 hours later, eat another one, chill for the last hour of the game. You're drinking the whole time. I mean,
favorite was this full bone-in tomahawk steak that you can eat overlooking the halftime show. Do you guys think this is worth it? This is what.
Now, do I think it's worth it? No, of course not. Like, it's $30,000. That's fucking insane. But hear me out. What I'm saying is, if you're already going to the Super Bowl, if you're already going to be there, you jack up your ticket another 20 grand. And you have it. We're doing a hypothetical where you have the 20 grand, but it's going to set you back. Like no vacation that year, nothing. It's just 20 grand out of pocket going to the Super Bowl. That's it. Would you? I can't imagine that you're going to, like, you're not going to eat and drink enough to get your money back. That's not what I'm saying. But if you're only going to go once, because like I said, I saw people shitting on this. They're like, oh, fuck this kid. He's a retard. He's dumb. Why would you do this? It's like, if you're thinking about an experience, I mean, that's a fucking experience, man. Sam Show says, you're thinking about this with these goals? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you could, would you? Hulkamash says, all you can eat and drink, so you'd have 3 drinks and be drunk, and I bet a plate of pizza rolls would make you happy. Well, I mean, if you put it that way, that makes sense. You know what? It would be a waste for me. You're right. MSO says, I believe you get a hooker discount. Okay, is that a game changer? A prostitute discount? Come on. There's all kinds of little perks. Papa Shop says Aaron is blacking out and doing gay shit if he gets the $30K package. Well, they say it's an experience, you know. Speaking of football, I wanted to throw this out there. I thought this was really cool. It turns out Jalen Hurts, despite signing a $255 million deal, still lives in a $2,000 a month rental during the season, which I think rules. He said, I didn't need this big place just for myself. I just got me a little apartment, you know, something smooth that'll last me for the time being. Anytime I hear a story about an athlete living by humble means, Like, I don't know why. I don't know why I care. I don't know why I give a shit, but I always have. Whenever I see a guy and he's like, oh, I just live in this house. It's a reasonably nice house, but it's not, like a $7 million mansion or anything like that. I'm like, God, fucking good for that guy. Because sure, I mean, you sign a $255 million contract. Let's say $150 million of it's guaranteed. You're going to be, what? Take home $75 million. By the time you're done playing, you maybe got $35 million of it left. Okay, but now you're 30, 35, and that's got to last you the rest of the way. And if you're living a lifestyle that's, a $40, $50 million a year contract lifestyle, but for the last 50 years of your life, you ain't making near that kind of money, it's always nice to see these guys set up a life for themselves that's much more modest so that they don't end up being one of these assholes who goes broke. Because there's plenty of guys who have made huge number one quarterback, number one wide receiver, number one running back money, and they're flat broke by the time they're in their 40s. Adrian Peterson is one of those examples. I mean, Adrian Peterson doesn't have any money left. He's doing appearances and all kinds of other shit to scrape cash together. So I don't know. I like it. Like, I know that Sugar Sean O'Malley, the UFC guy, like, he doesn't have a car payment. He lives in a humble house and all this other shit. I hope he's kept that up now that he's making a little more money. I like hearing that. There's nothing worse when you see these guys and they've got these big giant mansions and they're like, I'm worth about, he's worth about $300,000 now. And he owes the IRS a shitload of money because he didn't pay his taxes right when he was a player. Herm Edwards teaches a course on like how to preserve your money and how to save your money and how to set yourself up for life when you get into the NFL. Like, he teaches the rookies. And he always tells them the rule of one. One car, one house, one chain. He should be telling these guys one kid, one woman, because that's what ends up getting them in trouble. Taste Ferry Alto says Adrian Peterson also has like 12 kids with 10 different women. Yeah, that'll make it go real fast. That's why when he's 75 years old, you're going to see Elon downsizing. He fucked so many women and gave them so many kids. And they're like, oh, God, I thought these hundreds of billions of dollars would never run out. I stuck my dick in a lot of fucking holes. I made a lot of little ego babies. Jesus. He's going to look back one day, 70 kids behind him, and he's going to be like, I really got away from me a little bit. Jesus. Roots Calhoun says, Aaron, man, did you have a stroke or something? You're basically retarded lately. Not at all. What do you mean basically retarded? I like that kind of shit. I like that these guys are taking care of themselves and not going. It's so disappointing to watch these kids these kids. God damn, I'm sounding old. But it's so hard to watch these athletes make so much money and then go bust. Because like it's frightening to think about. Like, these guys are 35 and 40. They're going broke. And you're like, how are you going to make it the next 40 years? Root says, don't buy it if you ain't got the cash on hand. My grandpa always said, if you have to look at the price tag, you can't afford it. And I think that's good advice. If you have to look at the price tag, you can't afford it. Meaning if you got to go, pass. Don't do it. Taste Fairy says, not any more retarded than usual. Thank you. I appreciate. Wait, hold on. Anyway. Atomic Ray says, I like the clean toe. Oh, these are such better shows than that horse shit we used to do. I enjoy this so much more. My days are fucking awesome because of shows like this. So thank you guys very much for your support. I do appreciate it. All right, did Jon Stewart talk a little shit to Jen Psaki? I like this, right to her face. I love this Jon Stewart. So Jon Stewart will go on, Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. I kind of like when he confronts Democrats more because I feel like Democrats go talk to Jon Stewart and they're like, he's going to be sympathetic. He'll be on my side. And then he just kind of smacks him upside the head. Let's take a look at this one. This is Jon Stewart talking to Jen Psaki.
I've been shocked by how undemocratic the Democratic Party can be.
Uh-oh.
Tell me more, what do you mean by, I don't disagree with you necessarily, but what do you mean by that?
By putting their foot on the scales to get, make sure that Hillary Clinton comes out of the thing, or make sure that, that they're...
Say Biden. No. Biden, they did the same thing. Remember when Biden promised all of those moderates a bunch of jobs, like Pete Buttigieg, Elizabeth Warren, all these people, promised them all different perks, promised them all favors, promised them all jobs if they would drop out of the race and endorse him so he could consolidate all the moderate people so Bernie wouldn't run away with his lefties? That's how you think Pete Buttigieg was transportation secretary because he was so fucking good at it? No, he was dog shit. But he dropped out of the race, and that hurt Bernie and helped Joe Biden. But John doesn't want to say that to Jen Psaki because she worked for Biden and she was part of that.
That they're listening to that anger about the way that even the ACA, quite frankly,
Affordable Care Act,
struck me as a very conservative.
You mean because it didn't have a public option in it?
Correct. That it didn't address the very thing that was causing the foundational upset.
I don't disagree with him that people wanted to get away from the insurance companies and that the insurance companies suck, but a lot of the reason the insurance companies suck is because they partner up with the government. If you could break those two apart from each other, it might help. But I don't know if that public option would have necessarily been something the American people would have liked once they got to know it.
I were to break this down.
You want the same people who are running USAID to be running healthcare? I don't.
Now, narratively, what I think the Democrats have forgotten is government may not be perfect, but it's the only thing large enough to offset multinational corporate exploitation and corruption.
I don't disagree with them, but what the government often ends up doing is joining the corruption and exploitation. They don't end up stopping it. That's why I don't trust government, because even when they are doing their best and they're trying to be good, they will join in on the corruption.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't act like that's urgent and that affects people's lives, then so if the big policies that we make are billions more dollars to insurance companies that we think are fucking people over left and right for their health care, so isn't that part of why people lost faith?
Yeah. So yes, I think we're saying
I'm tired of watching these insider Democrats who are all part of it go, yes, absolutely, I hear you, and then watch them do fuck all about it. I'm sorry, it's lip service.
Well, I'm trying to say something similar, which is this.
Boom, boom.
Which is Democrats just lost everything. They control nothing. They control, I mean, they don't control the House. They don't control the Senate. They don't control the White House, and they don't control the Supreme Court. So now is the time to break some shit, right? And break some China.
They do control the email lists that continue to ask for money.
Well, that's true.
They still
Yeah, they still haven't learned a goddamn thing, though. Like, they keep doing this thing where they're like, oh, yeah, we lost everything. And, oh, yeah, we sure did suck. And you're like, all right, what are you going to do about it? Why did you lose everything? Trump's an asshole. Maybe we'll check in with you next week and you'll have an idea. Guys, thank you very much. I appreciate it. A lot of fun. Making speech free again. I always fuck that name up. Says, not judging, but is it accurate that you are a registered Democrat? No, in Minnesota, first of all, I don't think you register as anything. And second of all, no, I've never registered as a Democrat or a Republican ever. Thank you guys very much. Awesome show. Thank you to everybody who contributed. What a great start to the week. Unbelievable. Thank you so much. Take it easy. Hit like, hit follow, hit subscribe, no matter what platform you're on. I appreciate it. Take it easy.